Hello, and welcome back to the Live Reality Game Podcast. My name is Steven Stewart, and I'm excited here for more Surviving Reelfoot Dreamers vs. Doers post-game content. And joining me today, the sniper of the season, you may know him from Squid Games, Danny. Danny, how are you doing?
I'm good. The King is great. The Last Dreamer, the best title of the season. And I'm ready to get into some shit.
So, I gotta ask, like, Dreamer versus Doers, the title of the season, do you consider yourself a dreamer? Did you get that title and be like, yeah, that's me, I know this is me? Or do you sometimes feel like you're a doer?
So, fun fact, when we found out the season, I was like, I'm on the wrong tribe, just looking at tribe strength initially, because I was like, I'm strong as fuck, and I do the damn thing. But realizing my personality and my lifestyle and the way I move and operate, I was definitely on the right tribe. I was always supposed to be a dreamer because I dream big and reach for the stars in everything that I do, and it was shown in the game. And I would say I'm one of the best representations of being what a dreamer actually is.
So how did you find out about Reelfoot? What brought you to this game? Can you talk to me about your journey here?
Yeah, sure. So I played Surviving New York last year, and that was because of my Squid Game journey. So Manfred, who's one of my good friends from the show, he's in the community. He told me about it, and I was like, okay, I'll play New York. I played New York. I enjoyed the experience, but I was very upset with a lot of how things went in New York. And I said, no, I'm better than what the hell was presented to me in this game. So I had, the rush to be like, I want to do it again. So a lot of my castmates that I'm close with was like, Danny, apply for Reelfoot. I think you would be great for Reelfoot. Like, you're a king. You could do it. So fun fact, Penny, do you know who Penny is? Pete's wife?
Penny Morgan, yeah.
I love Penny so much. Me and Penny were super close when we met off the field. And, shout out to Penny. I love Penny so much. When I applied for Reelfoot, I didn't fully send in my video. And she told the casting team to hit me up. Like, I'm telling you, it's worth the while. Hit Danny's ass up. And they did. And I would not have been on Reelfoot if it wasn't for Penny. I want to state that and make that very clear. Thank you, Penny, so much, because it meant so much for me to get casted. And I went through to play Reelfoot for her. And I definitely did her fucking proud.
I'm curious, in terms of game difficulty, what do you feel was harder? Like a game, like a LRG like Reelfoot or Squid Games?
Oh my God, it's funny. Production was asking me that question. I'm gonna say, in terms of playing, Reelfoot was harder because in my Squid Game journey, we had the unfortunate twist of the count, and I didn't really get to fully play on Squid Game. They lucky I didn't get to play because Deja, who was final 2 in the game, would have told you I would have been at the finale. And you see my gameplay, I would have been in that finale. So Reelfoot was definitely harder in terms of gameplay. Now, in terms of emotional stress, I would say Squid Game because that was a lot of money.
I know Reelfoot's working up to that 4.5 the 4 million change budgets someday.
Oh, for sure. But I will say this: the production on Reelfoot was so amazing, like equally as amazing as Netflix's Squid Game production team. But I felt more of like a kinship to the production members on Reelfoot because they got to interact with you in real time. And I think that's maybe because I lasted longer in Reelfoot,
So you get cast on the Reelfoots. What do you do to prepare? Or you just like, I'm just going to show up and we'll make do when we get there?
So funny, I felt a little guilty because a lot of my castmates from New York that I'm close with got alt spots. And I was like, damn, like I feel bad, like, because I know this is something I really want and I'm just in this community. But they were like, Danny, no, don't ever feel bad for anything you've earned. Like, you've earned that. So I didn't really much prepare. Fun fact, I'm not a Survivor person at all. And the fact that I got on Reelfoot and proved myself as like a strategic force is a problem for you bitches in the future.
So you don't consider yourself a Survivor person. What kind of person? What's your game of choice?
So my game of choice, if in a perfect world, I would love to play Big Brother. Like, Big Brother is the game I would want to go to. And I feel like I would dominate Big Brother because I'm in my normal life, I'm like an outgoing social person. I'm loud, I'm funny. And in a game like Survivor, from just watching other people play, that would work against my personality type. So I feel like if I was in a Big Brother situation, I'll be more of myself than I was initially in Survivor,
So coming out to the game, you arrive on the property. You're seeing the cache the first time. Anyone you recognize or no?
I immediately recognized Sam. I was like, oh, Caston done fucked up by putting my number one ally from New York and me on the same season.
Different starting tribes.
Different starting tribes, but I knew when me and Sam got together, it was going to be a problem. Like, me and Sam are a powerhouse. I love Sam so much. So Sam I recognized. Julian is another person I recognized because I was like, that boy looks familiar. I can't pinpoint where he's from. And then when we got to start in our camp, I was like, you were on fucking Outlast. You know my friend Josh. And he was like, oh, yeah, I do. I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. Or whatever. And we just let that be that.
You were mentioning before, you saw your tribe and you're just like, oh, I don't know. I don't feel good about this. Was that your initial reaction to seeing the Lunakai tribe?
Yes, I'm not going to lie. I was like, the guys on the Doer tribe were a lot taller than we were. And it felt at first glance, it was like a mismatch in terms of like what tribe strength would look like. And then after doing the first challenge and being so behind because, you know, certain people on our tribe just didn't have enough stamina to like get through it, I was concerned for the future challenges coming up.
So you lose the opening reward challenge. You make it to the campsite. Talk to me about those opening hours in the game. Who are you connecting with? What are you up to?
So my strategy going into like when we first get to camp. So I am not a person that holds back himself, obviously seen it in confessionals, but I knew to stay quiet, observe, listen, and see who's gonna be vibing with who. And instantly, Garrett told me that he played Surviving New York before, and I looked at him and I was like, "You play New York?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Were you on production last year?" He said, "Yeah." And I went, and he said, "Shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up." And I said, "Okay," because I realized Garrett has seen me before. Garrett knows me and knows my game. So Garrett, I felt an instant connection with, and I was like, "Oh, this is somebody I have a built-in, locked-in alliance with, New York Alliance." And then Melon and I went up the hill, and me and Melon clicked instantly because she found the letter and she was like, "Yo, look." And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, all right. She was like, "You want to lock something?" I said, "We can do that right now." And then Vito. I love Vito so much. Vito is one of the nicest. Matter of fact, he is the nicest person out of all of our castmates, and he deserves all the flowers. Me, Vito, Melon, Garrett, instant loved. Shannon too. I love me some Shannon, but Shannon was a problem child.
So, what was the vibe of this tribe like in that first day?
Everybody was vibing. Like Courtney took demand of the shelter because she went camping before, and I know she was hesitant. You could tell she didn't want to take a leadership role. And I was like, "No, girl, go ahead, please. We need to survive. I'm from the city. Like, I don't know how to survive in the woods." So, you know, Courtney was like leading the charge on like camp. We all were helping out. Some of us were helping out, and we were just all connecting and enjoying each other. And Julian, he was definitely a loudmouth at the time. And I was like, "Oh, bitch, paint that target on you ASAP." Like, I already know it's going to rub people the wrong way. Like, that's why I'm keeping quiet and watching.
So, when you get to camp, one of the first things you find is a lockbox there. What are you thinking about that? What do you want to do with that?
So, when we see the lockbox, I was like, "What the hell is that?" And then Julian accidentally breaks it open.
Wait, really?
So, yeah, Julian actually broke it open. And the production was like, "No, there's a key." Da, 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 da. And I was like, "Oh, my fault." So we knew that there was a crypt text in it already. So me and Julian, as we're like getting dry wood, Julian looks at the tree and goes, "Oh, the key." And everybody stops what they're doing because we all see the key with Julian. And then he opened the lockbox officially, found the crypt text, and was like, "Oh, we don't know what the hell it is." But I was more excited for the food. I was like, I want the food. I'm happy we got peanut butter. We have some crackers and we got rice. I don't care about anything else.
How concerned were you about the survival aspect of the show being 8 days, outdoors, limited food, in the rain?
So I thought I was going to die. I was like, "Danny, you're going to die in these woods." I was like, "Oh my God." Again, I'm a city kid. This is not my forte. I do not sleep in the woods. I do not shit in the woods. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to last long, but I know I'm mentally stronger than what I am. So I just had to keep telling this phrase that I said all season, right now. whatever I'm feeling in the moment, I'm feeling this right now, and it will pass. And it's the same thing with Logan. Logan was feeling the same way I did, but I had to remind Logan, you're feeling this right now. I'm telling you, it's going to change.
So, I'm curious. Did anyone else stand out? Did anyone else stand out in your tribe in those early hours in a good way or bad way?
Yeah. So Joe stood out immediately because she told us she was a returning player, and she got voted out first. She was very transparent with what she was doing, and she was giving us a lot of advice on how to survive in camp. And I took that as, I appreciate this because I don't know nothing, right? And I knew Joe telling us about what happened to her would like stroke on our heartstrings. But in my eyes, I was like, I'm either going to really like Joe or I'm really not going to like Joe. And I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt because she didn't get to play. And any player who didn't get to play, that's an unfair advantage because of what happened to her. So I gave her the benefit of the doubt, and it happened to work long term for me.
I'm curious, like with Julian and the cryptex, were you happy that Julian had the cryptex? Were you worried with the cryptex? Did you just assume there was an idol in there or maybe something else?
So I thought that there was an idol in there 100%. And because people were low-key looking in camp. I know they're going to say they weren't, but I know people were anytime they went off to the bathroom. And I was like, okay, there has to be an idol in there. I'm happy he has it because at the end of the day, that paints a target on him. And he's already been being a loudmouth, so everybody's already looking at him in a certain type of way. So that's an easy target for the whole tribe. And I was managing a lot of my threat levels throughout the whole game. And I knew everybody liked me initially. And I was like, that's one of my biggest concerns. Because when everybody likes you, nobody likes you. And if you're with everybody, you're with nobody. And I knew that.
How was that first night?
It was annoying as all hell. I slept. Oh my God. Because we didn't have 2 tarps like the other tribe. Courtney did a great job in building the shelter. She thought it could have been better. I was like, this is great because like we have grass on the floor, we have a wall you made, and we have the tarp. I'm cool. So it was me, Melon, and Nay sleeping with each other, and Shannon and Garrett were by my feet. Nay was snoring mad loud. Melon was snoring mad loud. I started to snore mad loud. We were all cuddling with each other. We were all just touching each other, staying warm. We were overly comfortable with each other compared to what I heard on the other tribe. We were the opposite of that.
So you get to that first night, and you have this major reward challenge the next day, Sumo at Sea. And I want to talk about that because you get the matchup against Anthony twice in this challenge.
Yeah. So the first time me and Anthony went, can you hear me? Am I glitching a little bit?
I can hear you. Sometimes there's some lag, but I can hear you. There's no problem.
Okay, cool. Because I see myself glitching. I just want to make sure you can hear me clearly at least.
Yeah.
But sorry, viewers. But with that being said, when I went against Anthony the first round, I had a hiccup because my ass stood up and Anthony was easily able to push me through. And I said, okay, I have to adapt my strategy because I didn't know what the strategy was at the time. I didn't have enough time to realize what it was. So then when we went again the second time, he started pushing me a little bit, and I thought I cheated by like grabbing him and stuff. They said that wasn't allowed in the rules, so I stopped. I said, hey, I don't want to continue. He's still pushing me. I'm like, hey, I just want to make sure like I didn't cheat because if I did, I'm okay with giving him the point. But they was like, oh, no, you're fine. And they said reset, and I got low, and I took off on his ass. And I went bow, 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 and took off on him. And I was like, yeah, I got my lick back. Yeah, I know how to win now. And even so, with Julian versus Aaron, I told Julian, get low, tuck your shoulder down, and bop his ass. And that's exactly what Julian did, and he won. It was so exciting.
What's fun about this reward is you get to go off campus or off site. You get a little bit of food and get the air conditioning. And there's some shenanigans with the cryptex that happen as well in this tribe.
Child, when we got out of the car, all we hear is Logan and Julian, we got the idol! And we're all just like, what the hell happened on the drive? So then Logan explains that they were playing around with the cryptex. Logan got the cryptex. They were going through words, and Logan opened the cryptex and grabbed the idol. So that's technically Logan's idol because he's the one who actually grabbed it, claimed it, and then I guess it was mass confusion in the future rounds, but it was definitely Logan's, and they were so proud. We were proud of them because like we thought that was never going to get open, and it was just like fun and celebratory, you know. It was like, okay, cool.
Now, did you believe this was a tribe idol, or you're just like, yeah, this is Logan's idol that maybe could be used for the tribe?
I believed, knowing the type of character Logan is, especially Logan saying he wants to use this for their tribe, because he's a very upfront person. That's my Gemini brother, and he's definitely going to stick to his word. And I already built a relationship with Logan, and I was like, oh, if any case I can capitalize off of this, which I did in the future, we'll get to it. And, you know, I thought, yes, this idol will be used in any case any of us gets in trouble, at least in a swap.
There's definitely seemed to be some tension between Julian and Logan over their joint custody of their child, aka the idol. What'd you think of that?
I was like, this is great because everybody's talking game with me. Mm-hmm. And I know not much people are talking game with Logan for a fact, because when me and Logan had our first conversation, Logan stated like, oh, nobody's talking game with me. And I was like, everybody's talking game with me, Logan. I was like, you know, like we got to talk or whatever. But I didn't want to be doing too much at the time, because when you do too much too quick, you get targeted. So I was like, we can recircle back, because I knew him and Garrett were close, and I was close with Garrett. So I had to make sure I had different alliances forming. So whichever way I went, I was going to be set to be at the top of it. And the beef between Julian and Logan, at first it seemed all kumbaya. Like they were like, oh, they're going to co-parent it. They're going to share it. And I was like, okay, cool. But that's putting targets on y'all backs at the end of the day, depending on how other people perceive it. And I'm okay with that. That's more attention on you versus me.
I'm curious, by the end of day 2, had you put together an official alliance yet, or just kind of some people that you felt you trusted?
So 100%, my core alliance, which was me, Melon, and Vito, we locked that in day 1. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, this feels good. This feels correct, right? And then Courtney on the hill, on the way to one of the challenges, was having a conversation with me, which I thought she wouldn't have had. And it was like, oh, hey, Danny, you know, like, I want to talk or whatever. I said, oh, Courtney, I really like you. I vibe with you. She was like, here, I was thinking about like doing a 6 or whatever. And I was like, yeah, like who do you vibe with? Like, I like Joe. I like Vito, just to like see where she was like going with. And she was like, oh, I like them too. Like, I really like Vito as well. You know, we all Boricua, we all Puerto Rican, like da-da-da. And I said, okay, cool. But Melon wasn't mentioned, and I'm happy Melon wasn't mentioned, because that came around again with Joe. Joe came to speak to me, Melon, and Vito, not knowing that we already had a 3 alliance. So Joe speaking to all 3 of us worked out in my favor to have a core 4 alliance with them and leave me in a power position in the tribe. And I had a side thing with Garrett, which I wanted a part in, but it was just so hard to make Garrett work. And I love Garrett so much.
So it sounds like you're working with a lot of the people. Some names I haven't really been really hearing, Nay, Shannon. I think those are the 2 that I don't think that doesn't seem like they're really caught in any alliances with you at the moment.
Yeah. So Shannon and I really vibed well together. And I know Shannon wanted to work with me really hard. But the issue was, I knew Joe and Shannon had this like weird thing between them. And I was like, they're not looking to work with Shannon at all. And if I work with Shannon, I'm going to be at the bottom of this tribe. So I knew instinctively at a certain point, I love Shannon down, but Shannon was playing too hard, too quick. And I knew that was going to be a problem for my game. So Shannon was she was just the outlier. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunate. And the same thing with Nay. I would have preferred, and I said this in my confessional, Nay to go first, because she was already getting on people's nerves as well. And I find Nay funny as fuck. I mean, granted, I have issues with her now, but at that time I was like, Nay's hilarious. Like, you see what I'm saying? But she wasn't doing shit. And I'm like, all right, people are already getting annoyed with her, so that's going to be a problem in the future as well.
So was Nay your ideal first move from this tribe then?
100,000% she was going out that damn door. like out the damn door. And then there was a point where we were all discussing votes, and me and Vito had a conversation. He was like, do you want to vote for either Garrett or Julian? And then I'll vote for Nay. And I said, no, I'll vote for Nay. And like, just in case, just to back up, we never know what's going to happen at Tribal. And that obviously caused a little bit of drama, but not too much because we got pretty much had a good conversation after that. But a lot of drama just ensued during our season. And I'm like, oh my God, whether I had voted you or not, we were still going to have this drama anyways, you know?
So thinking kind of end of day 2 before the storm, can you rank the other 9 players in your tribe to most to least important to your game?
All right, most important and least important to my game at day 2, right? I would rank them like this. Most important was Garrett because Garrett knew me, knew my story, knew how I played, and knows that I was on Squid Game and knows that I knew Sam. So Garrett was pivotal because Garrett, at any point, if he wanted to, he could have leaked and exposed that info.
Yep.
Number 2 was Melon. Number 3 was Vito. Number 4 was Joe. Number 5, I would say Courtney. Number 6, I would say would be Logan. Number 7, I would say would be Julian. Number 8, I would say would be Shannon. And number 9, I would say would be Nay.
Now, generally you have that immunity challenge end of day 2 and you go to tribal council morning day 3, but you have a massive storm go through. What was that like for you?
Oh my God. It was fucking awful. We were on the grass. I was trying to protect my bag. Logan, me, Courtney are all trying to hold up the tarp. It's like it was the fucking Hurricane Katrina was through that bitch. You hear me? And I was like, this is not okay. And then Logan got upset because his bag got wet and he was thinking about quitting the game. And we got evacuated out of our camp. And me and Logan had a conversation. And he was like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, this is a lot. And da-da-da-da. And I said, Logan, which is smart game move on my part, is building that relationship with Logan and saying, Logan, you're feeling this right now. Do not give up on yourself. It took a lot for you to be here. You would not want to do that, and you're going to regret it because you are stronger than this. I purposely built these relationships because it saved me in my game, and I knew having that relationship with Logan and keeping Logan was pivotal still to my game. But also, I didn't want Logan to quit because I didn't want Logan to like regret his decision as well.
Yeah.
Because had Logan left, and he would have regretted it, you know. And Logan is such an amazing person, and I love Logan down, my Gemini brother.
So, morning day 3, you lose that opening immunity challenge, and you learn there's a fun twist this season where a player from the winning tribe will join you for the strategy session and then get to give immunity to one player on your tribe. What's your thoughts on this twist?
Bullshit. I was like, this is some bullshit. Now my strategy. No, go ahead.
Oh, it defines your pre-merge of the season.
For sure. I was like, this is breaking up a lot of what I tend to know about Survivor. And it's a fun twist. But now I have to work extremely harder to insulate myself, to hide the moves, to get myself into position to get people out. So when I found out about it, I was like, this can be a gift and a curse because I can make new bonds on the yellow tribe members when they come over if we lose and vice versa, and see where everybody's tribal lines are with this twist. But I was annoyed as all hell.
So talk me through the strategy, because this is a wild opening tribal council to have a beautiful 4-3-3. I can't tell if that was on accident or on purpose, but walk me through what happens in the scramble.
So during the scramble, I knew Melon and everybody was pushing hard for Garrett, and I was like, oh my God, because of the challenge. So Garrett looked like, from a viewpoint, Garrett looked like he couldn't just get the ball and Joe was beasting it. And I knew Garrett was purposely dropping to let Joe have a better chance. And we were so close in that challenge, but nobody's talking about how fucking Julian done dropped the damn ball twice when we were working through going to the maze. And that would have saved us time, and we would have been ahead instead of behind. Literally, we lost by like one ball. We were right there. So nobody talks about that. But then there was a lot of talk about Julian and how he's rubbing people the wrong way. So initially the target was on Garrett and Julian just as a split vote. And I was like, I would rather keep Julian and keep Garrett and get rid of Nay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the best time to do so. So I was telling Garrett, you need to work on your relationships with these people, especially the people in my other alliance, so they can keep you.
So you're trying to flip things to Nay, trying to get things off of Garrett and Julian. Who are you trying to pull into this plan?
I'm trying to pull in Vito. I'm trying to pull in Melon and Joe and see how they feel. And I even try to talk to Courtney to like be like, look, long term, it's better to have them there and we can get them out next. You see what I'm saying? Like initially, it may have looked like he wasn't doing bad in the challenge, but just hear the guy out. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's give the guy the benefit of the doubt. But it was too much heat on Julian and Garrett at that point. But just in case, we still wanted to have another name.
Did you talk to Jana at all?
I did. Fun fact, me and Jana met before the game. We were in the car together. And she's a sweet girl. And she was like, I asked her if she could just throw it on me just because I wanted it. Like, I thought it would have been, cool. Like, everybody wants to survive. But her picking Joe made sense because Joe went out first, and I respected that decision. And she even said she'll just do something random because had she been willing to, like, listen more to the scramble and cause chaos, she could have, and she didn't. And at that point, I respected, and I was like, okay, that's somebody that maybe in the future I can work with because she did, save one of my allies, and, like, she was very nice about the situation.
So were you anticipating it being a 4-3-3 vote on Garrett's?
Yes, I was anticipating that. I was hoping it, if any case, Vito would have voted with me for Nay, it would have been a different circumstance. But I did tell him to vote Garrett just in case because I'm like, hey, I don't want you to have blood on your hands with our alliance. And I already told our alliance what I was doing just to see where the numbers fall, And Garrett leaving, and I love Garrett down, I think was best for my game in that moment because I was able to solidify myself at the top of the Dreamers tribe.
Something else happens in this tribal council of where I believe Julian tries to play Logan's idol.
What I tell you, I knew that there was a possibility that it was going to flop because Logan told me production confirmed that was Logan's idol. And I was like, okay, I'm going to act like I don't know. And I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to be a part of the drama. So when Julian played it and basically looked like a damn fool, I sat there and was like, oh my God, wow, I couldn't believe it. Fully knowing that was going to happen.
Did that change your viewpoint or opinion of Julian seeing him just like, all right, I have the idol, I'm playing it, you can't stop me?
It made Julian look bad because now all eyes are on you, which is better for me because like I said earlier, you were painting on that target to yourself and now you fully just locked in a target on you. So I was okay with it. I didn't see Julian no if and buts but about it because I knew Julian still liked me. And I was like, I can't believe that happened. Oh my God.
What's the fallout like after this vote back at camp?
So you would have thought it would have been a whole fight between just Logan and freaking Julian, but I got into a little scuffle with Nay, and Nay was like putting words in my mouth saying, oh, we said we were going to lock in something and work with each other. Baby girl, I never said any of that. Like, if you look at my first confessional, I literally said she would be my ideal target to go first. Like, I'm not looking at it that way. You see what I'm saying? And granted, I'm looking at it what's best for my game. And clearly, you were not best for my game, especially at that point. The tribe literally had issues with what you were doing, and then everybody was just moving a certain way. And granted, don't get me wrong, I'll give her credit. She was one of the beasts in our physical challenges. I'll give her credit. I'm not a hater. One thing for certain, two things for sure, I'm going to give people their credit when they deserve it. And with that being said, we got into a little scuffle, and I was like, I'm not going to continue to argue with you because I'm going to ruin my game by arguing with you. I'm trying to insulate myself and code switch, because the minute I'm able to be my true authentic self, they're not going to want to work with me and see me as a problem. I refuse to do that. But then Logan and Julian got into a little situation, and it was awkward for a while, and I knew that beef was going to grow bigger between Logan and Julian.
You're going to win the next 2 challenges, right? So you're not going to the tribal council again until evening, when you have the gross food challenge, because both tribes are going to the tribal council. How was the gross food challenge for you?
So I had no problems with it. Like, if you watch the footage, I was beasting through it. But the problem was these braces made it impossible to chew the food. So by the time I got to the second to last round with Nate and Vito, Nate was asking us to throw it to her. And I was like, no. In my mind, I'm like, absolutely not. But me and Vito entertained the idea, but we were like, no, not happening. And I could have won that if it wasn't for these damn braces, because I could not get through that pig's meat for nothing.
I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, right? You're immune, but also you're not voting with your tribe, right? Because you're going to go to the other tribe and cast immunity instead. So it's an interesting advantage, more advantage than disadvantage, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. But granted, that whole eclipse thing, because Eric won it for the other tribe, which I didn't know at the time that him and Julian played a game together and knew each other super closely.
Yep.
Which was fucking ridiculous, because I had an allergic reaction during that round to, I think, the sardines that I ate. And I had to figure out in hives. So my game plan going into that tribal was, if he saves Julian, which I think he's going to save Julian, I know Joe feels some type of way towards Shannon, and Julian feels some type of way towards Shannon, because Julian was telling me that way earlier on. I can get them to vote for Shannon. So that's what I did. I literally said, all right, if everybody votes Julian, because there's a target on Julian, you two, Joe and Melon, y'all go vote for Shannon, and then Shannon would be the vote out. And that way we're still covering our tracks. And it worked out because I told them where to vote.
I'm curious. Was there just no political will or appetite for people to target Nay at this point in time then?
So I made a promise to Nay in that round that I would not write her name, just to show that I can be trusted with her to make amends with Nay. And I was like, Nay has proven herself in these challenges. So maybe she's not as bad as what we assumed her to be, because she can't do endurance, but she's very strong in the physical challenges. And at that point, there was still a lot of heat on Julian for lying and stealing and doing this whole show, and Logan really wanted him out. So I was like, best option is to go with Shannon.
I'm curious, had this tribe gone to tribal council again, would Julian have been voted out? Or would that not have happened?
I think it depends on who was eclipsed.
Okay.
So whoever the eclipse player is, I think in that situation, we split the vote between Julian and Nay.
Gotcha. Okay. So that night, Logan's going to go to a meeting with Rafa, and they're going to figure out the tribe swap. And your tribe swap is, shocking, the same tribe, just not Julian.
I was annoyed, I'm not going to lie, when Julian left, because that was an easy split the vote on them, Nay and Julian. And also, Julian is a puzzle king. He just whooped their asses in 5 seconds during the puzzle portion. So we just lost our best puzzler, and now we have to make up a lot of ground in the next future challenges if we don't win.
So let's say you had gone to that summit to figure out the tribe swap. Who would you have wanted to bring onto your tribe? Let's say you're making your tribe of 7. Who are the 6 players you would like to have been on the tribe with you?
I would have loved to keep my core alliance of Melon, Vito, and Joe, and then Sam.
Okay.
And then ideally, I would have, how many people is that right now?
That's 4.
So
So 2 more.
ideally, I would bring 2 targets over.
Okay.
So
Who would you want to target from the yellow Intaku tribe?
Rafa, and I love Rafa down. Me and Rafa are actually cool now. Like I actually fuck with Rafa. But Rafa, I would bring over, and I would also bring over Eric's ass because like Eric, you just tried to get Logan to get voted out, and it didn't work. Boo boo. I made sure that wasn't happening, and you're easy to go. You're a liar. And also, y'all good at challenges. So keeping both of y'all as challenge strength, but also easy votes out.
Eric wanted to target Logan?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Courtney told me. Courtney was like, he wanted Logan gone. Logan will tell you. They'll all tell you he wanted Logan gone. But I made sure that fucking Shannon was going to be the one to go. And I love Shannon. I love Shannon so much. And, it's nothing personal.
I'm curious, with players from your tribe going over to Intaku and coming back, what are you hearing about the other side?
That it's a lot of chaos over there. Like people are very wishy-washy. And I kept saying to my tribe, because Melon saved Sam, and it seemed like Sam was like low-key on the outs over there, and me being close to Sam, I was like, well, it just makes sense to just save Sam over again, especially, like give her or whatever. And I'm planting those seeds so Sam can always be saved over there. So I can keep Sam in the game for when I get to Sam.
All right. Aaron saying, we were told the Dreamers were chaotic, so.
And it's so funny, too, because, like, I think both tribes were just both chaotic in their own way. And we didn't get to when I get over there, but we will eventually, because that's when shit really hit the fan.
Yeah, so you're in a tribe swap of sorts. You have the Idle Hand Challenge. Your tribe wins, and you are going to join the Intaku tribe for their next tribal council. And this is, again, Aaron, Anthony, Eric, Larissa, Leah, Rafa, Sam, and Julian.
I was like, this is about to be one of the toughest predicaments I'm in, y'all, because Sam literally walked over before the challenge started and said, do not save me no more. Sam was sick of their shit. And I was like, what are they doing to my girl over there? So then when I get pulled, I was like, oh my God. I want to save Sam so bad, but my tribe just agreed to save Julian. So I put in the toughest spot when I drew that blue ball.
So you draw the blue ball. Unfortunately, you've promised everyone you're going to save Julian, but you want to save Sam. You make it to their tribe. Who are you talking to?
First person I wanted to talk to was Sam, because I need to know what the fuck is going on, right? So everybody welcomes me in, and I was like, oh, they're being fake nice because they don't want me to save Sam. So people are coming up to me like, Sam already said don't save her, like, she's already done with us and da-da-da. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I don't give a fuck what any of y'all saying to me. I'm going to go speak to Sam. So when I spoke to Sam, me and Sam started crying because Sam said she felt like if she was back in high school, this is not what she signed up for. And all this. So I start crying with Sam because they don't know the relationship I have with Sam. And I'm like, I hate the fact that you feel like this because I'm in a good position on my tribe and you're not in a good position on your tribe. And it makes me feel bad because I'm like, I wish I can like bring you over to our side. So when the scramble was happening, they see I'm talking to Sam and they're like, oh, he's probably going to save her again. So Rafa comes up to me and goes, oh, it's going to be a 3-3 split. Just letting you know, whoever you save, that's what we're doing. That's da-da-da. And I said, oh, okay. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you say to me. Things can change on a dime. So whatever you're saying to me, I don't care. And then Sam just finished telling me that Rafa doesn't like me because he thinks I'm showboating when we win, when I'm just happy we won because we lost all the fucking food challenges and we're hungry and we ain't got a good shelter. We're dying. Like, what? So immediately I was like, I don't trust you. I don't trust your tribe. I don't trust what none of y'all say to me. I don't give a damn. So they all came up to me trying to tell me what things were doing, da-da-da. And I'm waiting for somebody to come up to me with a plan. So Aaron came up, huh?
Here we go. I'm waiting for when Aaron enters the story.
Aaron, my guy, comes up to me and goes, would you save Julian and we get Larissa out? And I said, are you sure you can get the numbers to get Larissa out? He told me he had the idol. Our whole tribe already knew he had the idol, and he was building trust with me, so he confirmed that he was the one in possession of the idol. And he was like, I promise you Larissa's ass will walk out the door. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now there's a plan in motion. So I'm like, I'm aware of the plan. Now I can save Julian and be safe with my tribe because I stuck to the word of what the tribe said. And Sam will be safe with Aaron. And then she told me, like, you know, her and Aaron are somewhat good or whatever, and da-da-da. And I said, okay, cool. Like, one thing for certain, two things for sure. Sam's number one ally is going to be a gay black man, and we love that. And I was like, all right, I trust in Sam. I trust in Aaron to get this done. So now I feel safe saving Julian. And there was a point where Leah came up to me crying, and she got on my last nerve because she was like, Julian's over there just laying out in the damn thing. Just, I feel so bad for him. And the first thing I said to her was, and what about Sam? Sam just told me she's been feeling like shit for days. Sam was telling me, y'all welcomed him with open arms. This is your own tribe mate. Like, fucking, even in sumo at wrestling, when Will was dying after I just whooped his ass, me and my tribe was comforting him and Aaron. Like, what? Like, the lack of empathy over there was pissing me off at the time, right? And I was like, what is going on in this tribe? And Sam made sure to tell me everything just in case she went home.
Was there anyone else on the Intaku tribe that you were interested in working with at this point? Or is it mainly Sam and Aaron?
Absolutely not. Because I knew that whole tribe did not like me. And I was like, well, if y'all don't like me, I don't like you. I'm on that. Now it's on and popping. So at this point, I don't care what y'all got to say to me. It's Aaron and Sam, and that's it. That was in my mind at the time. Because they are the ones who actually came to me with the plan and told me everything. So going back to my tribe, when their tribal happens and it happened to Eclipse, granted, Aaron already spoke about the faux pas that happened because Larissa was supposed to bengo. Yep. And I knew that was happening. And I told my tribe, because I wanted to paint targets on Rafa and Aaron. And I said, those two big guys over there are running that tribe. They're running it like a tight ship. And I made sure to paint targets on them earlier on.
So you're thinking that Aaron's going to play the idol. What happens when you hear the story of everything that went down later on?
They took so long. And I was like, Aaron better have been a man of his fucking word. And I see them come back, and I was like, okay, great. But I didn't know that all that chaos happened at that time. I thought it was funny as hell. And I just started dying because I was like, that should have been quick and easy.
Well, the rest of your fourth day is going to continue to stay busy because you're going to lose the next two immunity challenges, right? And so you lose that first challenge as a tribe. Anthony is now eclipsed over with your tribe. What's the strategy? What are you trying to accomplish?
So Logan said, we're going to target Nay and have it seem like Logan's on the outs. And that's what we were basically telling to Anthony. But then I see Nay speaking to Logan and like talking too closely. And I knew that Nay, excuse me, sorry, I'm burping. Sorry, child.
You're good.
Yeah, her name brings me ugh. But Nay and Logan are talking so close and comfortably, and I was like, there's gonna be a plan to get my ass out. Now I'm on that. So when I speak to Logan, the first thing I say to Logan was, she's throwing my name out there, isn't she? And Logan was like, yep. And then Logan was like, oh, she's telling me I need to play my idol. And Logan's telling me everything. I don't know why people tell me everything like I'm not going to use the information against them. And difference is I built a rapport with Logan before Nay built a rapport with Logan. And I knew Logan was such a good-hearted person. I told him, you had nothing to worry about. We keep going with the plan. You do not need to play your idol. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to write Nay's name with the heart, which I did. But I made sure that the two people, Melon and Vito, and everybody else in Joe, was like, Logan is the name that needs to be written down. Because he goes with the idol. Now the idol's out of play. And now we have more room to work with Courtney. Because then in my mind, I'm like, Courtney can go next. they brought an idea up to vote Courtney that round.
Mm-hmm.
So if we voted Courtney, Logan stays with his idol. Logan is now aware that he wasn't involved in the vote with Courtney, but he's going to be mad at them versus me because I stuck to my word. I wrote Nay's name down, but I didn't say I was going to tell everybody not to write yours, baby.
So what do you know what led Nay to target you? And I know you two had an agreement in the prior tribal council. Hey, we're like, I'm not voting for you, not voting for me. It seems like that fell apart real quick.
I think what caused her to target me is because I'm the only person that actually wrote her name that was still left in the tribe. And I was like, had Vito wrote her name, it would have probably been Vito. But because it was me and I owned up to it, I think it was like, oh, well, he wrote my name down, so I don't give a fuck. And they're all kumbaya, so just get him out. And also, I think Nate started to pick up on the fact that I was the most insulated person in the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, she's picking up on it, but it's too late, too sorry. I'm at the top of this tribe now.
Did you talk to Anthony at all and try to persuade him on who he should give immunity to?
I did, but I didn't trust Anthony. And I was like, Anthony's going to do what Anthony wants. And I know that tribe is going to do what the fuck they agreed on because that's the same thing our tribe said we were going to do. So they were already probably going to save Ned. And I was like, especially speaking to Logan and she's talking to Anthony forever, and it's clear that none of us are talking to Nay because Nay was trying to conduct this plan, backfired, especially in their faces.
So the vote ends up being a 4-2-1. There's 4 votes to Nay; those are nullified. 2 votes Logan, 1 vote you. When you saw Logan get up to potentially play the idol, how worried were you in that moment?
Let me tell you, when Logan got his ass up, the first thing I did was grab my bag. I said, all right, y'all, maybe we should have fucking wrote Courtney's name down. So I grabbed my bag and I was like, all right, Danny, it was a good run. And then Logan goes, I'm a man of my word and I'm going to save this for the merge. And my dumbass spoke out loud because I was thinking in my head and go, thank God. And I'm like, oh my God, Danny, just shut up. And he didn't pick up on it. Thank God he didn't, because that would have been disastrous for me. But I was just so ready to go home at that point.
I mean, you would have gone out with just Nay's vote on you had Logan played the idol, but Logan doesn't. Logan is voted out, and you are left with an angry Nay.
Let me tell you, child, that argument is what caused a lot of beef, and this is why I wanted Nay gone from the fucking beginning. My issue was when she was talking, I don't let nobody disrespect me, first and foremost. If you rewatch the footage, Nay's over here pointing at me like she's somebody's mother and cursing and this, and that. And I'm like, I don't let nobody disrespect me. I don't care who you are. I'm on that. So now I'm on the defense, and then her and Joe start going at it, right? And I'm like, okay, like they're going at it for a bit. But I was so mad at being yelled at and being cursed at and being talked to a certain way that I had to say something. I was like, nah, I'm on that. And also, you're saying things that were not true. You were saying that fucking Logan didn't know nothing. I said, no, Logan knew. Logan knew. Logan told us to say his name. So Logan knew that. Let's not act like Logan did not know, because Logan did know that. You didn't know that because you didn't have the relationships in the tribe that we all had. You see what I'm saying? So don't try to paint things a certain way. And then she's like, oh, we're all kumbaya, don't throw the challenges, da-da-da-da. Nobody said none of that. You're saying that. None of us are saying that. You're the one saying that. And even so, it got worse later on, because I want to make something clear, and Joe will say it herself. Joe was the one that called Nay explosive. Joe will own up to that. Joe was the one who said that. And I was trying to help Nay, and she was like, oh, well, point out when I'm being explosive. And I said, right now, you're literally cursing, yelling at all of us, da-da-da. So this is the behavior that they're viewing you as, right? And I'm trying to tell her, from one black man to a black woman, in a game like this, we have to hold ourselves differently because we're going to be viewed differently. Like, it's unfortunate that that's the way society works. If I'm out here going off, being myself, kicking the shit, they're gonna look at me as a fucking problem, which is why I wore fake glasses and held myself quiet to look less threatening and put myself in a power position. Because had I came in the way I wanted to, I would have been gone sooner. And I was just trying to say that to help her, but she couldn't hear me at the time.
I mean, it seems like from this point on, you and they are just on opposite sides from each other, right?
No, that's the gaggy part. Like later on when it came to merge, we'll get there when we get there. But it's funny how things went up and then down and then back up again. Because Nate's the type of person, if you're not directly talking to her one-on-one or having conversations with her, she's not going to understand you in that moment. You see what I'm saying? Like her and Joe had a shit bunch of time at merge to make up and chill with each other. But we'll get there when we get there because I was so fucking mad at Joe. And me and Joe are in a good place today, but I was at rage.
So you lose the next challenge, and we actually, we didn't get to see the next challenge. We lose the next challenge. Leah is eclipsed. She's coming over to your tribe. I guess you're just assuming like, well, shoot, they're just gonna make Nay safe again at this point, right?
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought to myself. I was like, they're gonna save Nay again. Nay and Joe is arguing like bats out of hell over there by the damn tree. And it's funny too because I kept saying that there's an idol back at our camp. Fun fact, the idol was right above the damn heads of fucking Nate and Joe while they were fighting. And I was like, oh, we got to find the idol. But at this point, it was so much chaos going on. And then every single tribe member was like, we're all just going to vote Nate and just let things go the way it does. And I'm like, absolutely the fuck not. This is what we're going to do. And I told Melon, but I did it in a way, as you can see, I use my words very carefully always. I was like, well, should we just go with Courtney then, if that's the case, to keep the core four safe? Like, should we just go to Courtney? And Melon's like, oh, do you want me to do that? I was like, yeah, I think like if you and Vito vote for Courtney, because I've already gotten too much heat in this game for the one nay vote that I did, and I've been taking heat and constantly taking heat for it. And I'm just like, I just think it would just be fair. And Melon's like, okay, yeah, we could do that. I was like, yeah, I'll go speak to Vito and like, I purposely set that up because now that leaves me in even more of a power position because now y'all doing what I wanted. And also, just in case Courtney wins battle back, she's not mad at me because I didn't write her name down.
Well, the plan works perfectly. Nay gets 3 votes. They're nullified. Courtney gets 2 votes. Nay this time votes for Joe, not you. So you were safe no matter what. And then you actually have a real tribe swap going at the end of day 4 into day 5, and you find yourself not in a great place, right? So you are swapped to a tribe with Anthony, Eric, Joe, Rafa, Sam, and Vito, and there is some mutiny shenanigans first we should talk about. So you get in the new tribe. And there are these mutiny advantages, and your tribe doesn't have one, but Eric happens to have 2. What do you see go down?
So I told my tribe that Eric had both mutinies, which has made it easier to paint the target on Eric earlier, because I was like, oh, he has both mutinies. I knew everything going on. I knew everything. I knew what everything was. And when we get swapped, I'm like, oh, this tribe on paper is strong as fuck. Like, and then I see Eric go, Leah, mutiny, and I'm like, oh, these bitches are going to try to jump us. I was like, especially us, because it's clear that you have 3 of the strongest blues now on the yellow tribe. So I'm like, oh, they're going to try to jump us, bro. What the hell is happening? So it didn't work at the time. And I was happy to see Sam to come over, though, because Sam could have pitched to save me in the long run, which ended up happening. But I was just like, we have such a good, strong tribe, and these bitches don't give a fuck about that. They might be out for blood, was going in the back of my mind. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when we got to camp, I'm like, I know Rafa didn't like me. I didn't like Rafa at the time. And then when we all started to vibe, we all started to like each other. And I was like, what? And then I think Rafa was like, why couldn't this just be the starting tribe? And I was like, yeah, because I realized with Rafa, I mean, me and Rafa, we're cool. Like, fun fact, Rafa hit me up and we've had a conversation with each other. I respect Rafa and Rafa respects me. And it's so funny because I think me and Rafa were both in the same position of both of our original tribes, that we were just two strong forces on two different sides. I feel like had me and Rafa started together, we probably could have slayed together. That makes sense, But Rafa was like, why couldn't this just be the starting tribe? I said, I know, because the vibe was just so good. And then shit went to hell after that.
That being going to 2 tribal councils back to back.
Ciao. Can we get into that first challenge that Eric threw?
So it's like the ball relay, right? Where you can't let the ball drop.
Yeah, fucking before that challenge starts, Sam mutinies over, and I was happy Sam came over because at least it was Sam, not Leah. And we start the challenge. I'm busting my ass up and down this damn thing. I'm like jumping, not even using my hand, jumping on it to balance this ball. Eric, you are just as tall as the beam. You mean to tell me you cannot look at this ball, look at the thing, and not balance it? And I'm watching Eric hit the ball on his head, flip it to this side, do it to that. And in my mind, I'm like, this bitch is throwing this challenge.
Now, was he actually, has he confirmed that he threw it or not?
So after Final Tribal Council, when I finally got to be myself, I pressed Eric about that in the car. It was me, Rafa, and Eric. And Eric was just quiet. And Eric was like, because Rafa was like, no, I didn't throw that challenge. And Eric goes, I threw the challenge. I was like, I fucking knew you threw the challenge. I was like, I knew you fucking threw the challenge. I'm not dumb. Clearly, I'm mad smart. I was like, yo, I knew you threw the challenge. And I told Joe and Vito the minute we got back to camp that Eric threw that fucking challenge, bro. And in Joe's confessional, she's like, oh, my original tribe mates think that Eric threw the challenge or whatever. I was like, he did. Hello?
I mean, it's a strategy. Throw the challenge, read the numbers, pick up the other side. I have been voted out that way. It kind of sucks.
I was like, yo, bro, you got to be kidding me. And that's when I knew shit was going to hit the fan heavy after that.
So you lose that challenge. Even more unfortunate, Leah is going to eclipse over to your side, right? So you're with a bunch of yellows, and an original yellow has come on over. What do you do?
I knew we were doomed. Had it been Melon, it probably would have been a different case. But I knew we were fucking doomed. And I said to myself, like, one of us are going home. And I spoke to Sam. Sam told me exactly what the plan was. They're jumping Joe. They were scared of Joe, which was good because they thought Joe was running the tribe. And I was like, nobody sees that I am Geppetto, and these people are just playing second fiddle puppets to me. So Joe had that target on her, and I was like, okay, or whatever. But we all still agreed to vote for Eric because he fucking threw the challenge. And I was like, they might just eclipse Eric anyway. It doesn't matter who they eclipse because look, we're outnumbered. You know, none of us have idols. None of us found Logan's idol. We're clipped at this point.
Eric is given immunity. Your 3 votes are nullified, and Joe goes out with 4 votes. This brings the next challenge. Is this challenge also thrown?
Yes! Oh my God! Anthony confirms one of his confessions that he fucking threw that challenge, and I'm like, and mind you, I had a feeling the man was throwing it because I'm sitting there. I sat out of that challenge, and I watched it in real time, and I'm watching Anthony take forever to put a piece in. By the time Julian's halfway through his, he puts 1 piece in, and I go, Vito, one of us is going home. And we just shook our heads. We were like, we're fucking cooked, bro. I was like, they're jumping us, and if I ever get the opportunity to jump them back, I'm gonna fucking snipe these bitches like nobody's business. Because when Joe went out, I want to clarify right now, all my tears were dead ass real. Because this game is hard. I was crying for people that I genuinely like. You see what I'm saying? Like, I actually fucking like these people, bro. Even later on when I cried for Nay's ass. You see what I'm saying? And now I'm on that. So fucking when Joe left, I told Joe, you need to win that battle back. I was boohoo fucking crying. I was like, I fucking love Joe. I fell in love with Joe because Joe, to me, deserved a second chance to play. And she's proven herself time and time again. And Joe is such a beautiful person and such a positive force that it crushed me to see one of my closest allies leave. And even when we get into Vito, we'll get into Vito, but I literally was like, Anthony, Pookie, like, come on. I know you was on that. I know you fucking threw the challenge, bro. But then Melon eclipses over, which caused a lot.
I mean, was Mary Ellen eclipsing over the best case scenario for you here?
Yes, it was. Now, granted, me and Melon were the first two to click with each other, and then we got Vito as well to have all of us click together. But her and Vito were so cool with each other. I didn't know if that bond would edge out me and hers bond, you know? So Sam was like, you need to get her to fucking basically do this because Vito is a likable person and he'll get to the end and he'll win and this, and that. So I was speaking to Sam. I'm like, I know. So I'm genuinely crying to Melon, like, and I asked her, I was like, look, I don't want to do Vito. I love Vito, but would you save me? Because I thought it would have been better for her game longer term to have me than Vito. And she was like, I told you from day one, it's going to be hard because I love Vito, but I told you from day one that I got you and I'm going to save you. And I was like, I had a relief in that moment. There was a scenario I saved both Vito and Danny with their clips and an idol. I know, Aaron, had you came over,
that would have been wild.
That would have been the nastiest shit. And it's funny too, because throughout the whole game, I don't think Aaron said it, but me and Aaron kept looking at each other across the mat after the Rissa vote, like, you know, we're communicating with our eyes. And then there was a point where we lost. I kept telling Aaron, I was like, I'm going home. Aaron was like, you're not the target. You're fine. Like, me and Aaron kept communicating through the mats. And when Aaron, I fucking wish you were there, bro, because that would have been Chef's kiss. And either Rava or Anthony or anybody would have just been gone in that moment. Oh, it would have been just Chef's kiss if that happened.
I think what's fascinating about this vote is it's a 2-2-2, 2 Eric, 2 Vito, 2 you. You and Vito don't vote for each other, and you vote for Eric. And you leave it up to fate, right? Like you don't try to like persuade the other person, vote for Eric, then you vote with Vito, then sure, it's a 3-2-1.
Yeah. I don't think there was nothing in that case to do so. I was gonna do it, and Sam, speaking to Sam now, had I pitched a stronger idea to her to vote out Rafa, she would have flipped with us. But I asked her before even pitching anything, are you gonna go with your tribe? Whatever. She was like, yeah, or whatever. And I was like, okay. She didn't tell me unless you have something else. Had Sam just communicated if you have something else, Rafa probably would have been gone in that round. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, damn, see what I'm saying? Like, that would have been nasty work. Like, that would have been nasty.
So, how confident were you going this vote that Mary Ellen was going to give you immunity?
I was 100% confident because we told Vito, and the whole tribe knew at that point, which when we got to tribal, Vito knew he was going home, and we were all crying. There was not one dry eye. Maybe Anthony, because he's a bat out of hell. Fucking, that's where he is. That's where his throne is in hell. And well, he doesn't even have a throne. He's a peasant. That's really where he's at. And my thing is, all of us, all of our true emotions came out, and I was so fucking heartbroken because this is not the ideal scenario. I wanted it for us to go into merge. So when Vito gets up and leaves, I'm fucking devastated holding Vito because Vito is one of the kindest souls, like I said before, ever in this game, and he deserves all his flowers. And I'm going to give Vito his flowers. I would love Vito to come back and play on a future season because I think Vito deserves it. And it crushed me because I'm watching two of my closest allies leave back to back, and now I'm alone, the only dreamer on an all fucking Yellows tribe.
Thankfully, it is finally merged, and there's redemption, and there's going to be two players coming back in. Who are the two players you want to see re-enter the game?
Well, I want to say this. We knew merge was coming because all the production left us at the camp. And our camp where the Yellows camp was close to where the first Battle Back Challenge was happening. So we're hearing stuff and we're like, let's go into the woods. Nobody's here. So we ran into the woods and we hear, yeah, we did. We hear Garrett is safe and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, Garrett? I said, what? And then we hear Courtney has da-da-da. And we're like, oh, we're at the merge, y'all. It's Battle Back. So in the woods, fun fact, all of the Yellows came to me and pitched ideas to vote for Aaron. And I'm taking all this information in, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, y'all left it to the wrong bitch to give info to. Like, I'm a mastermind, and I'm going to show you why. So they all tell me this, and then Anthony separately comes up to me and goes, would you and Aaron and Melon all be down to do like a gay alliance or whatever? I'm going to say yes to anything at this point because I'm the only fucking person at this tribe at this point, right?
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm definitely, if you're giving me more options to work with, I'm going to snipe y'all bitches like nobody's business. I have a vendetta right now. So I'm taking in all this info and saving it. So future players watching, learn to take info, save it, and use it when you need to. And that's how you get into my place at the end. It's just unfortunate I had the bitter ass jury against me. But with that being said, learn to gather information, save it, and learn how to use it and capitalize off of it. So that's what I did in that round. I literally saved all that info, found out that Battleback was happening, and then when we get over there, we heard somebody got medevac. We heard the alarms and everything. It was scary, and I was fearful that it was somebody that I like was close with, and it was Logan. But when I see the Battleback and I see that it's 4 Dreamers, I fucking shouted at the top of my lungs like, "Let's fucking go!"
Mm-hmm. Who would be your ideal 2 people to come back into the game?
So, in that scenario, at least with the 4 left, I was okay with any of them coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "Oh, if any of them comes back, I'm good with all of them at this point," because all 4 of them I did not vote out. Like, I didn't vote none of them out. Like, I purposely set it up that way because I was scared of Battleback, and I was like, if there's blood on my hands with the Battleback people, even though I'm the one who got them out, it's going to be a problem. And it winds up working in my favor in the future. So seeing Courtney and Joe, I was happy with, but any 4 of them I would have took.
So the merge is happening. Courtney and Joe are back. I mean, it's 6-6, 6 original yellows, 6 original blues. 2 of the blues have been voted out and have come back into the game. I guess let me start. Who's the top on your hit list? Who do you want to see go out as fast as possible?
Any of the yellows, I didn't give a damn. I didn't give a damn. All the yellows got to go in my book. Now I'm on that. But here's some information that the viewers and you don't know. After Courtney and Joe won, Courtney comes up to me and we're getting ready to go to the merge feast. And Courtney goes, "Danny," I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Courtney?" Because in my mind, I'm like, I hope Vito didn't tell her like I was the one who orchestrated her getting out. So she goes, "Danny, are you going to be my number 1 in this game?" I said, "Yeah, the fuck, I'm happy you're back. Like, you getting blindsided was crazy." Even though I fucking knew the whole time. Like, it was me, Pookie. And she goes, "I know you know Sam." And I said, "What?" And she goes, "I know you know Sam. I know you're on Squid Game. I know everything. And Joe knows too." And I go, "Really?" And this is why information is always key. I go, "Really? Joe knows?" Because Joe didn't say anything to me at all the whole time. So I had my eye on Joe at this point. And she goes, "I also know Rafa. I played with Rafa. And let me tell you about Rafa." And I was like, "Oh, I'm about to run with this information and use this to my advantage." So we're at the merge feast. And I'm trying to fill people's vibes out. And I'm trying to get to Joe and talk to Joe and waiting for Joe to bring up that fact that she knows the information about me, the information. And I'm like, she doesn't tell me. So I'm like, all right, maybe I cannot work with Joe in this merge because at this point, Courtney told me everything and Joe doesn't know that I know Courtney told me. So my plan was still to go for Leah because I just wanted Leah out. And in an ideal world, I would have loved to got Rafa, but I know I can get Rafa later with Courtney. So I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to save the info on Rafa. I can get Rafa out anytime in my mind." So, and I also knew where everybody's games were. One thing about me, I was able to insulate myself perfectly because I saw what everybody else wanted for themselves and nobody saw what I wanted for myself. The thing with this merge, the merge people, all their egos were so big that they could not view outside of their own games, which is why they all got sniped by me. Like, it was ridiculous.
So why Leah first? So
Leah and Julian were like this. And I saw that off rip, that Leah and Julian was like this. They slept together at night. The first thing they did was cuddle up together in the corner, and I'm taking note of who's sleeping with who and who's sleeping where. So I'm taking note, okay, Julian's with Leah, Julian's with Leah, Julian's with Leah. And then when it came time after the first immunity challenge, we didn't get that far, sorry. I just knew Julian was with Leah, and I knew Leah needed to go because I needed to free Julian up away from Leah because oh my God! Nay came up to me at the merge and said, we cannot work with Julian. Julian is 100% with them. We cannot work with Julian. And I was like, oh, me and Nay started to build good rapport. I even gave Nay my damn fucking sweatpants to wear at night so she could stay warm because they left her thermal shit back at camp. I'm thinking me and Nay is hashing up a lot of the drama that happened. You see what I'm saying? So for all the fuck shit to happen afterwards pissed me off. I'm like, yo, bro, like I give you my sweatpants. You telling me info on Julian, and I'm like, okay, cool, keep that noted. I see him and Julian and Leah are close. That's where all that came from.
It's a roller coaster.
It's crazy because I had so much information. My brain was always working, and you saw I locked the fuck in.
So, what's your strategy going into this first vote for the merge?
My strategy is to make sure we get Leah out. Yellow has to go first. And then Nay comes to me. She goes, I can't vote for Leah. And I'm like, Nay. I'm like, bro, Nay, literally, Leah will send your ass home, bro. She's like, I just can't do it. And I'm like, Leah will send you home. She does not care, bro. So Sam goes, I'll write Leah's name down. I don't care. And I'm like, okay. And then Julian goes, I'm open to write Leah's name down, but I don't know if that's the right move or whatever. So I'm like, oh, we done lost Julian at this fucking point. And I was like, Julian, well, letting you know, this is where the votes are going to go, Pookie. So you do the info you need to, but letting you know we have the numbers if you just stay with us. And then what does Julian do? Not vote with us. Sam votes with us. And at that point, I was like, Julian, you got to get the fuck ASAP now.
I'm curious because Aaron has found the second immunity idol. When do you learn that he has 2 immunity idols?
At merge.
Okay.
Aaron told me everything. Aaron told me everything. He literally came to me and was like, I want to work with you. Obviously, we had this kinship with each other. And he said, I found Logan's idol. And I go, you did? He's like, yep, I have it. I have 2 idols, da-da-da. He even suggested playing an idol on me at a certain point. And I said, no, keep it for yourself, right? Because I'm thinking strategically, I need my moves to make sense for me and my game, especially towards the end. I was thinking 10,000 steps ahead before anybody else even caught on to what I was doing. And Joe, even though Joe didn't tell me she knew that I knew Sam and stuff, Courtney and Melon already locked that in with each other because I knew Courtney would have Rafa on a leash. So I was like, oh yeah, she got Rafa on lock. So I could take shot at him anytime. But with Joe told me they had the fake idol, and she told us that, and I was like, okay, you have the fake idol. Maybe we could do something, maybe shake and bake with it. But there was so much shit on Joe's name. I was like, I'm gonna let all of y'all shoot each other, leave me here, so then I'm going to shoot y'all. I'm going to this like a puppeteer.
So Joe goes out in a 6-5-1. Nay votes Rafa. Sam votes with you, but Julian does not vote with you, as you said, which leaves Leah safe, and Joe goes out. What's the fallout from this merge vote?
So everybody was talking or whatever. I just kept quiet. I'm like I said, if I was truly to feel my anger and be the way I wanted to be, it would be a problem and people would target me. So I'm being strategic at this point. And they're all talking about Joe's fake idol and things like, yeah, I knew it was fake, whatever. I heard her. And I'm just laughing with them like, okay, all right, don't worry. Yeah, I'm happy you do. I'm like, don't worry. I'm going to get y'all. So Joe leaving, I was sad by, but again, it betters my chances because now I have somebody in the jury who should have been a lock for me since we worked hand in hand together, you know? Hello? I think it froze. Hello?
All right, I'm back.
Sorry, it froze on my end.
Yeah, I think that looks like I'm on my university campus, and apparently the Wi-Fi is not impeccable. So what can you do?
It's okay. I think it's mine too. It's all right.
All right. So you're saying Joe going out was good for your game?
Yes, Joe going out was good for my game essentially because all the info that I had on everybody, I knew where everybody's idols were. I knew Eric. I knew Eric had the merge idol at a certain point because the minute he got it, Aaron told me immediately. I knew everything where everybody was and what everybody wanted to do. So Joe leaving, I was like, oh, I still got wiggle room to work anyways. Because I know the yellows are waiting to shoot at each other too. So I'm just going to wait on it.
So Anthony wins his second immunity challenge. All right, and we're at the final 11. And this is the vote that's going to be pretty like majority on nay. What's going on here? What leads us to the nay vote? Is this what you
Let,
wanted?
let me be very clear. Anthony's immunity wins, kid you not, we were managing our threat level. I could have stayed a lot longer with Joe and Anthony in the ball holding challenge, but I was managing my threat level going into merge. Because if I already look like a physical threat from what Sam told me to them that I'm a threat, I need to lower that. Also, I knew Rafa and all of them could have lasted a lot longer too. That challenge could have took all night. I was like, okay. I was like, me not winning this, it saves me, puts a higher threat level on Anthony and Joe because they're the final two over there. And I'm like, okay, cool. Also, people might be going look for the idols immediately when they drop. So I know everybody has their own agendas going on. But I made it further enough to look like I'm good at challenges, but not good enough to win. So Anthony, Pookie, you over here talking about you had 3 wins and da-da-da-da. A lot of those were handed to you, and one of them was luck. So let's not do that. You see what I'm saying? Because we were managing our threat levels. You didn't. You thought you were smart. You weren't, Pookie. Sorry, what was the question?
So Anthony wins the second time. How does the vote end up being nay? And is this what you wanted?
So, fun fact, I was still trying to get Leah's ass out the door. And Courtney and me were talking, and as we're going down the hill, Courtney's like, I'm voting nay. And I said, you're doing what? She was like, we're all going to vote nay. I was like, why are you voting nay, bro? I was like, that's not good for you, Courtney. I was like, yo, bro, okay, cool. And I was like, at this point, if nay goes, I'm okay with that because I have more flexibility with people to work with. And I don't know what the past history of me and Nay would work out, but we're in a good place. So I told Nay going down the hill because we had a plan. And Nay was like, what? I said, they're voting you. Courtney just told me they're voting you, which is why Nay was attacking the fuck out of Courtney because I told Nay that. And I was like, Nay, like, that's what they told me. I'm letting you know the plan is you. So we get there, and then Nay started going off. And I'm like, okay, she's going off or whatever. And I'm like, it ain't me this time. So Anthony comes over and leans over to me and goes, was it like this? Da-da-da. And I just sat back and I was like, yeah, it was. It really was like this. But, now we all get to experience it together. You see what I'm saying? So, Nay unanimously, well, not almost unanimously. I don't know who Nay voted for.
Nay votes for Courtney.
Yeah, but at this point, it was like all names are going on Nay. But this is a key moment because it's going to be brought up later. In that tribal, I was sitting there and I did feel bad for Nay, right? I did. I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there. I was like, damn, I feel bad for her, bro. Like, I'm happy she made it to where she made it, but she said this game was hard for her. So she was like, fuck yeah, da-da-da. And Sam, I love Sam down. Sam calls Nay a fucking bully. She calls Nay a bully and they start bickering back and forth. And I'm like, oh my God, it's getting heated, dead ass. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna argue with nobody. I'm sitting back being pretty and letting all these people aim at each other. Just let them shoot.
So Nay goes out. The final 10. Rafa's gonna win the next. Rafa's gonna win immunity, and you're actually gonna get your way this round. So talk me through how do you end up having this vote be on Leah, and what else is going on? Because I think people are trying to flush Aaron's idol, and there's other stuff happening.
Which was chef's kiss for me because I knew it was happening. The minute this challenge happened, Sam dropped, Leah dropped, and I dropped. And I was waiting for, Courtney dropped the thing too, but I was waiting for everybody else to drop. And then when Courtney sat down while everybody was still going, and I saw Leah there, because I was waiting for Leah to drop first. And I literally go to Courtney, I whisper to Courtney, right next to Leah, I go, Leah is leaving now. And Courtney was like, really? I said, I want my way. Leah is leaving today. And cool. So I finally got the heat and push for Leah to get her ass out the door. I was like, yes, I'm getting my way. And I told Melon, I said, Melon, they're thinking we're just numbers for their games. I've been purposely letting them aim for each other and leaving us in the middle so that way we had all the control the whole entire time. And she was like, yeah, because Rafa, da-da-da. And I said, well, Rafa wants what Rafa wants. Everybody wants what they want in their game, which is why I see where everybody wants what they want. They can't see what we're doing. So this is how we get them now. We get Leah, which separates Leah and Julian, and that leaves Julian as a free agent. And then Julian was like, I will write Leah's name down. And I'm like, okay, would you really write Leah's name down? So I talked to Sam, and I told Sam what the fuck was up, and I told Sam all the info I knew about Rafa that Courtney told me, and how we can make it to the end together. And then Melon comes over, and I was like, yeah, Leah's done. She's shooting herself in the foot. But then Aaron, I love you down. Aaron told me everything about how it would be a hard one for him with Leah or whatever. And I said, I understand that or whatever, but I'm letting you know this is where the direction is going. And I was like, you do what you will with that info, but I'm letting you know it's not good to keep Leah long term, especially with Anthony. Anthony wants to work with us in the Gay Alliance, and we have a 6 alliance, right? And I was like, I'm setting myself up for endgame. I'm like, we take Leah out, it leaves room for us to free up the game. I knew it just left me in a better position. And I was like, because Julian is going to start catering to me, and then everybody's going to start catering to me, and this is great. And then I also asked Rafa, just to make sure how I felt, I was like, didn't you want to go for Aaron? And he was like, oh, yeah, but, I think I can't do that to him because he said he'll play his idol on me or whatever. And I said, oh, he would? And he was like, yeah, whatever, but, da-da-da-da-da. And I knew that Aaron was still in their plans. So I was like, when I seen them 2 votes to Aaron, I was like, I know exactly where this came from. So now you're giving me more ammo to shoot you in the foot.
So did you expect the votes to work out the way they did as a 6-2-2?
I expected the votes to go exactly the way it was planned. I expected the way to go. The only votes that really I was just like, what the fuck, was the ones for Anthony. And I was like, why did you vote that way? But cool, whatever. I was like,
Leah goes out. Your plan is success. Julian's now a free agent. And this leads you to a Bush Guide trivia challenge, but you'll find out the winner at Tribal Council, and challenge immunity will be like a hidden immunity idol. How do you feel like you did at this challenge?
So I was copying Anthony at first. I knew
doing it.
Because I was like, Reelfoot, I love y'all down, but I'm not studying this shit. I don't think to study. I'm thinking we're doing puzzles and physical challenges. And when they said, did you read the book? I said, oh, I'm going straight to hell because I'm not winning this. So I'm looking over at Anthony's answers, and I'm copying Anthony. And then as I'm copying Anthony, he then turns his body at a certain angle where I cannot see his answers no more. So then Courtney's in front of me, and I'm like, Courtney's pretty smart. I look and I lock in on Courtney's answers at this point. So now I'm copying Courtney because I'm like, I know somebody somewhere is going to get a high score. So I was like, I felt pretty good in the challenge, but I also didn't like the fact that this was basically like another kind of an eclipse situation. And I was like, oh my God, like, damn, why this challenge, bro? I was like, give us something else, man.
So what happens when you get to the camp? How do you decide on how you're going to vote, knowing that immunity is going to be granted late?
Anthony comes up to me, Melon, Aaron, and goes, Gay Alliance, we'll sit here. We can target Julian or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, sure. Or like, he wanted to target not Julian, Eric. Sorry, he wanted to go for Eric or something like that. And I was like, oh, like I said, they all want to shoot at each other. And I told Melon a couple rounds ago, we keep Anthony because Anthony's a shield for us. He's not managing his fucking threat level. They're all going to fire Anthony. Anthony's going to want to fire at them. And that's why they think we're a number. We can utilize the info any way we want to. So I was like, all right, let me think about it, right? Because Danny's going to do what the hell Danny wants to do. Y'all just couldn't see it. And Sam tells me Anthony is saying my name. And I'm like, huh? And then he's also saying Melon's name. And I'm like, well, this is what we doing. I ran right to Aaron. I said, yo, he no bueno. He got to go. So I start taking the charge to get Anthony's name thrown out there. And then me and Julian start speaking. And Julian's like, yeah, I heard my name is getting pitched around. I said, bro, you're fine. I was like, I'm letting you know this right now because now Leah's not there. Now you're desperate to find anybody. And I knew that would happen. And I knew it was going to happen with me. So I'm like, oh, you're good. Like, don't worry about it. I'm telling him whatever he wants to hear, but we're all writing his name down. I'm letting you know we're all writing his fucking name down. And Julian didn't know what the fuck was going on, and that's good. I needed you to be aloof. I knew where everybody was going to go. So all the heat was obviously on Anthony at that point because I took the charge on that. Because you said my name and Melon name. Don't ever say my name. Don't get comfortable doing that. I'm going to get you.
So how surprised were you when suddenly Anthony is there in the tiebreaker for who gets immunity?
I wasn't really surprised, but I was laughing at Anthony's behavior because Anthony was like, "I'm the smartest person here," and and I was like, "Who the fuck is this bitch? And where the fuck did this bitch come from? Like, who is this person?" So I was just laughing, like, okay, he feeling himself, he feeling like that bitch, but you and Rafa tied up. So I was like, all right, it don't scare me because I know I'm good either way. So I see them get up and Anthony wins. And I'm like, I just start laughing. I said, this shit is lit. I was like, let's go. I was like, let's go. Game on now, right?
So were you expecting all votes to be canceled?
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, all the votes are gonna get canceled. Yeah, it's cool. It is what it is. I know I'm safe. It didn't matter to me because Anthony was gonna fucking go for Eric anyways. And then Eric plays his idol. And I'm like, oh, then Aaron plays his idol. And I'm like, oh, shit is getting spooky.
So on the revote, how do you know how do you end up landing on voting Julian?
So this is what happened. Sam was pushing for Rafa. I was like, Julian can go because Courtney's still here. And Courtney gave me info on Rafa. Rafa knows that I know. So if he ever goes for anybody, I'm going to blow up this man's game.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew he couldn't do much. And I was like, Rafa could have left at that round, but then it would have been Sam's move. And I was like, no, I want Julian. So I start saying Julian has to go. No, we're going to go Julian. Julian has to go. And Julian was like, man, I need to stay and da-da-da. Like, we're going to be blue strong. Da-da-da. I was like, we're going to be blue strong. But at the very first time you didn't vote blue strong, you saved Leah. And thinking about your story, buddy, you were saved and saved and saved again like you were baby Jesus. I'm good to clip you. Because keeping you versus keeping people I know I can control, I'm good. You're a loose factor. Rafa and all them, I know I can be in the power position with them. So, Julian, you can go. I'm locking in. Bye, Julian.
So it is a 6-2-1 with Julian and Sam voting Rafa, Eric voting Mary Ellen, but everyone else going Julian. He goes out.
Yeah, because I made sure that Julian was leaving.
You win the next immunity challenge. You don't really get to capitalize it, but talk to me about this immunity challenge you win.
So I was like, Danny, now that you made your threat level, time to put the pedal to the metal and get with it. So I was like, oh, I'm winning this one. And I knew Melon had great balance. We were the best balancers on our team, but I didn't want to do that. Like, I didn't want to do the balance portion because I was saving all of my skill sets for merge. So when we get there, I'm like, this is easy. We start, and Anthony's nuts to me. And Anthony drops. The way he was leaned over, I was like, yeah, Anthony's not beating me or Melon in balance. And nobody's going to beat me or Melon in the balance parts of these games. So I see him drop. And in my mind, I was like, about damn time, bitch, you going home. Because previous to that, Anthony had a conversation with me and Melon right after the chaos that happened when Julian left. And we were back at camp. And I said, let me tell you exactly why. I was straight up with him. I was like, you threw my name and you threw Melon's name out there. And I was like, you just formed this gay alliance with us. So why would you target us or paint targets on us like that? And he was like, I didn't say your name, but I did say Melon's. I'm like, okay, so you own the fact you said Melon's name. I was like, so how do you expect us to trust you if you're not showing us any trust? And then he goes and threatens all the yellows, and Aaron and Sam tell me immediately what he does. So I'm like, this boy thinks he's so smart. He just cooked his boots. You did not manage your threat level. I purposely was losing, and you sat here, paint the biggest target on you. You were my shield. You were also Rafa's shield. You were both shields for both of us. You didn't even realize what you were doing, and you think you're in control, baby. You're at the bottom. Like, you're going to go next. So you needed to win. So when he passed out, I did initially feel bad for him. I did. I was like, yo, like, I thought he was faking at first, but then I'm hearing commotion behind me, but I had to stay locked in with Melon because I needed to win. So I got a reward that day, and it was for the movies. And I picked Melon because me and Melon went toe-to-toe. Of course, I was going to pick Melon. And then I got to pick two other people. I picked Anthony because I did feel bad. I was like, oh, I want Anthony to come, whatever. Also, I needed him away from the rest of the yellow so I could the target on Anthony. And I wound up out of the doing who was closest to the number. Courtney was closest to the number, so I get Courtney. And we found out that Anthony cannot come to the movies. And I was like, oh, can anybody else come? But it was already too late at that point because it was already dark. So I couldn't bring either Sam or Aaron with me to the movies.
Yep. How was your movie experience?
We went to bed. We went straight to sleep. Let me tell you, I love Bridesmaids. Bridesmaids is one funny ass fucking movie. So I picked Bridesmaids and it kept glitching. So then I picked Devil Wears Prada next. And as we're all talking, Courtney's trying to reassure us, like, oh, the final three. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm not going to the final with Courtney because Courtney, you're going to beat me. So I'm like, I need to find a way to get Courtney out at some point. And I'll tell this to Melon in a future round too about it as well, which we'll bring up. But we're all just like, all right, at this point, common consensus, Anthony's going to be the next to go, obviously. But at this point, he was in the hospital, so we were unaware of what was happening. But Anthony still goes that round anyways. There was no saving Anthony at that point.
We're at the end of day 6. It's a Fast and Furious first in the merge. We're down to the final 7 players. I'm curious, who have you struck deals with, final 2 or final 3 deals with at this point in the game?
So the only 100% final to the end was with Sam, my true one, and Melon at this point, Aaron at this point, and Courtney at this point. So I knew all of those people were going to take me to the end no matter what happens. I set myself up into position to make it to the final with any of those players without them realizing I masterminded all the info when I needed to, and I'm able to literally explain my game the best I can to outbeat y'all because y'all don't realize I'm playing the best game right now because y'all were too egotistical to look outside yourselves. So those are the people I was looking at endgame.
Who is your ideal final 3 though? Looking to be like if you could pick, I assume Sam is one, but of everyone else, who you're like
Aaron.
Okay, so it was Aaron. Gotcha.
It's literally the perfect scenario for me because I influenced the fuck out of Aaron and Sam. And Sam will tell you herself. Sam was like, she's gonna do the best for her in her game, and we respected each other. I love Sam. That's my friend. I understand. But I was working the fuck to influence Aaron. We'll get to that point, but I knew my best bet was to be the last dreamer, which I am, and definitely get that win.
So, final 7. It is the Leapfrog Challenge Mary Ellen win. Why Courtney?
So I knew
you did not vote Courtney, I guess. This is not what you wanted. Sorry.
Right. I was like, Rafa's ready to go. And Rafa comes up to me. He's like, hey, man, do you da-da-da? And I told Rafa, I was like, if you feel like you're in danger and you want to look for an idol, go look for an idol. Even though I knew that Eric had the idol, I knew where the idol was. I knew where everything was. So I was like, okay, Rafa's over there acting in the trees. Let him do what he wants, right? Now, Courtney, this is where Courtney started to blow up Rafa's game, right? Yeah. And I think that backfired on her. And I'm hearing that because Eric didn't know, Sam knew. I already told Aaron at this point because now Aaron knows because Courtney confirmed or whatever. And I'm like, all right, Courtney at this point is going so hard for Rafa that she's putting a target on herself. She doesn't realize that she's doing that. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, it's saving me. So Courtney, please do it. And I said to Melon, I was like, do you think rocking with Courtney to the end is going to be best for both of our games? And she was like, yeah, I think we just stick to what we said. And I said, okay, that's why I voted with Courtney, but it worked out in my favor. And I was like, Rafa gets the last laugh again, Courtney, because he got you out twice. And I was like, but it worked out in my favor because I didn't want to take Courtney to the end anyways. I was like, I didn't want to take Courtney to the end. And I was like, I'm good with that. And my hands are clean because I didn't vote for Courtney. So I'm like, it's happening. And Courtney looks back at me at Trap and goes, it's me. But also, I'm watching how everybody's working. And I'm like, these bitches should have got rid of me first. I don't know what are they thinking. Like, they're crazy. Like, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? So when Courtney, I love Courtney. So I love Courtney, but I'm also still mad at Courtney right now. I'm at rage with Courtney. I haven't spoken to Courtney. And whether we'll have a conversation or not is up to her because I'm pissed with her. But Courtney leaving was best for my game at the end of the day. And I was still mad, but I played up how mad I was after Courtney got voted out to let Aaron and Sam know. At this point, this is me manipulating. I was like, at this point, like, y'all just gonna fucking snipe us. We're gonna be this and that. Like y'all jumping us. Y'all jumping us again. Da, da, da. I'm purposely using my words to break them the fuck out of this spell that they're in.
Mm-hmm. So, Marilyn, when's do you want to talk about touchy subjects, or you just want to go on to the
We can
next
talk
subject?
about touchy subjects because.
All right, tell me about it.
So I was gonna faint for real. I was actually gonna faint. I felt lightheaded. I thought I was gonna like die. I was like, oh my god. And then to the point where they said, answer honestly. I wrote my name down for everything, and we had to redo it for me because I was so out of it. And then I'm right behind Rafa. And when they asked the question about who's the biggest snake, I look and I see Rafa put my name down. And I said, okay, so Rafa sees me and I see Rafa. Me and Rafa see each other. And like I said, in a different world, me and Rafa would have been the greatest allies.
Mm-hmm.
The fact
you answered yourself.
I know. I answered it was so. Aaron will tell you I was like dying over there, and I was like, this is gonna show people's true colors. So then I got more info, and when they asked who was the biggest snake, and I put my name just to see who else would put my name. Rafa was the only one who put my name. Everybody answered Rafa. And Eric was out at this point because I knew Eric probably would have put my name just in case, or Mary Ellen. And I'm looking and I see that Rafa has also said Danny, and I said, now you really going home. And then it was unanimous that Rafa was the one that was the snake. And also it was information for me that who needed to win the Nets Immunity Challenge, and it was Melon. So I was like, nobody's looking at me, and people are now starting to target Melon. So this does me multiple favors, knowing this knowledge in the next challenge.
So Mary Ellen wins that next challenge. Did you feel in danger at all this round?
So when wait, can I backtrack a little bit because they wanted on a reward, by the way, and me, Rafa, and Melon were left behind without our letters, and we were just talking and bonding. And then Rafa, you know I'm cool with you, you know we bangs, bro. But Rafa is sitting there talking about, yeah, you know, like when I played a game before and I was at Merge, my tribe voted me out, and I think it was at 7th or whatever, and I was just so heartbroken. And then I go straight to Rafa. I go, didn't you make it to the end? He goes, oh, fuck, yeah, I did. Oh, shit, damn. I didn't know how much y'all knew or whatever. And I was like, I just caught you in the lie in front of Melon. And me and Melon just look at each other. And he just starts panicking, and we just start laughing. I was like, Rafa, stop lying. Stop lying. This is your problem. You lie too much. Like, I was like, you're giving me more ammo to use against you already. Like, I already have all the Aaron stuff, and now I have more against you. Like, it's just, come on, man. Like, be better than that. So we laugh about it. We get to the challenge. And if you look, I threw the challenge on purpose. I'm rocking, I'm watching, rewatch it. The ball doesn't fly. I just dropped. I said she got it. Because as we and Melon was there forever. And I was like, this does me favors. It paints a bigger target on Melon. It lowers my threat level. And I'm like, okay, she needs it. If I won, they probably jump on Melon. If she wins, I can get Rafa out or Eric, anybody at this point. So I was like sitting there contemplating, like, you know what, Danny? Drop. So I dropped. I literally dropped it. She comes over to me and I say to Melon, I whisper her, I said, I threw it. And she was like, and you see her walk away. And I said, walk away. I'm act like I'm super hurt. So I was like, oh, fuck my arm. Oh my God. Whatever. Right. So I'm over there like, oh, my arm. I'm managing my threat level. And I was like, this is going to be a tough one for them. And I cannot wait to talk about this move because this was bow, bow, bow.
Tell me about it.
So Melon wins, hires her threat level, lowers mine. Eyes are still on Melon. I know at this point they thought they were yellow strong. Aaron comes over to me. People watching or any game you play, the arm was fake, Aaron. I love you. The arm was fake. If you notice, I was holding the wrong arm. This is the arm that got hit. So the arm was fake. And this is people. Use your jury vote as currency to stay in the game. I knew I had ammo to shoot Rafa, and that's what I did. I painted, because I knew what the games looked like, and I painted them as higher threats in the end game so that Aaron had no choice but to consider them too. And I told Aaron, because I already knew that he felt some type of way that Anthony threatened, which is stupid. You don't ever threaten nobody. So instead of me threatening Aaron, if you don't vote for me, don't get my vote. This is how I worded it. I said, both those people are playing the best game. Like, the jury's going to vote for them. They're going to carry you as a GOAT. They try to use me and Melon to get you out. And they put 2 votes on you to flush your idol. Allies don't do that. Like, they've been gunning for you. And Rafa's a known liar. Like, what are you doing? And to be honest, they're playing the best games right now. Like, everybody's going to vote for them. I'm going to vote for them. I would vote for them. If they're there and all y'all together, I would personally want to vote for them. That's me using my words and using my jury vote as a threat to let Aaron know that I will not vote for him. But 100%, I'll vote for Aaron.
Did you have to do something similar for Sam? Hold on, I think that's frozen on my end again. Here at Live Rally Games Podcast, we enjoy tech. Hey, you're back. No more technical.
I was like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you. I can see you. You were telling me that you were persuading Aaron how much of a threat and issue Rafa was, and that he needed to vote with you to take Rafa out. Then.
Oh, for sure. And then I also used the fact that because Aaron admits he was drinking the Kool-Aid, and I was like, oh, Aaron, bro. And then I had to paint myself as like less threatening to Aaron's game, because in my mind, I'm playing such a strong game that it's undeniable that I'm fucking puppeteering everything. And I was like, Rafa is literally playing you. He played you. It's shown he's playing you. And so is Eric. And I was like, at this point, would you rather go to the end with them where they're definitely going to just whoop you, or be better to just go with me? Because I'm telling you, you have a better chance with me than you do with them. And he was like, you're right. You know what? I'm going to do a little risk. And I said, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I took a big risk by throwing that challenge to get momentum to flip. And he went to go talk to Sam, because I spoke to Sam. Sam said she's going to do what she feels like she has to do for a game. And I knew that I needed Aaron to go speak to Sam, so that way they are forced to work with me. Because it could have been easily Rafa's going to be at the top of the tribe, or I'm going to be at the top of the tribe. It depends on who won Aaron. And I knew I could win Aaron because I had all that ammo that I saved up. Like I said, information is key. So I used it at the right time when I needed to, and I got them to sway on my side. And I was like, oh, I am nasty.
This is the last round Idol's going to be played, and you know that Eric has the intermediate Idol. I assume this is why you cast a vote for Eric as insurance in case he saves Rafa.
So Eric was talking nonstop during that tribal council. I tuned out so bad because he was just like trying to be flashy and do all this stuff to make himself a move. And I was like, sir, the more you look flashy to the jury, giving Aaron your idol to make to do this to show that you're doing moves, I was like, I'm going to use this against you to get you out. I was like, these people should have gotten rid of me ahead of time. Like, I am like, y'all dumb. Like, so I'm sitting there and Eric's like, oh, are you going to vote for Rafa? I said, I'm going to stick to the word that I told them. I'm still going to write your name down, because God forbid Rafa actually has something that he's told nothing about, and he casts a vote for me and you cast it for Rafa after doing all that for Rafa. It's now a tie between me and you. And now all votes go on you, because now everybody don't like you, Eric. That's why I casted that vote for Eric.
All right, so Aaron's saying what won that day was that Sam and I said that Anthony would vote for Eric or Rafa before us, and it's better to take them both out as a result. So,
wait, for which part is he talking about?
I assume he's talking about why he wants to target Eric and Rafa now.
Yeah, but even so, it took a lot of convincing to snap Aaron out of that juju. That is a fact. Aaron, and I just texted Aaron. I was like, Aaron, I love you. I literally just texted Aaron. I was like, Aaron, I love you. But Aaron, you know that I had to work overtime to get you to snap out of that. But think about it. In my gameplay, me painting their games so beautifully to anybody is the reason why the target was bigger on their backs. That's not even up for debate.
So Rafa goes out. Aaron plays Eric's idol for himself. Idols are no more a thing. And your next challenge, Sam is going to be immune and is going to win. This is your final. This is the end of day 7. Is it an open shut case about Eric?
Oh, Eric was the only person that was not going to take me to the final 3. he was the only person out of everybody left that was not going to take me to the final three. I purposely set myself up to have everybody take me. Eric was the only outlier. And we were up the hill. It's funny, I spoke to Aaron earlier about this, and I was like, y'all were contemplating it. Sam was contemplating keeping Eric. And even Aaron will tell you, Eric literally said to Aaron, hey, if you keep me, I will get the jury to vote for you or some shit like that or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And I broke the hill, and they were contemplating about now Melon, because I let this target paint on Melon for her threat level because it still protects me. And I'm like, well, Eric will beat any of us in the finals. So if you take Eric, he will beat y'all and he will beat me. He'll beat us all. Why are y'all keeping him there? Because I already painted the target on Eric, and I just kept painting the target by explaining how the jury views them and how literally everybody thinks they're these great people and they're playing the best game and they're so flashy and they would win. And I was like, I knew I had to paint that on them.
Eric goes out. It's the end of day 7. You are making it to the final day of Reelfoot. How are you feeling at the final 4?
I knew I was going to final 3 no matter what. I was like, I'm going to final 3 no matter what. Nobody writing my name down, baby. And it was even to the point where I set it up in multiple ways. Aaron, I don't think you know this, but Sam and I had a conversation with Melon, and she was like, I will vote for Aaron. I will vote him out. And I was like, okay, good to know. I had multiple pathways to go to the end. But I knew taking out Melon was the best case for my game because A, I'm the last dreamer. B, I was the strategic power force between the two of us. And she was getting the credit that I was rightfully deserved because everybody else couldn't see my game. I was literally the most insulated player in the merge that nobody saw, which was their problem. I was the silent assassin. And I was like, either way, my pathway to the end is clear.
So let's talk about that, because I feel like that is one of the conundrums of Survivor is that, like, if you play too flashy, everyone takes you out, and if people can't see the game, then people in the jury is like, well, we don't know what you did, and then there's the challenge to that. And so, I mean, looking back, is there something you should have been doing differently or tried to do to make it so jury's like, oh, that's Danny's work that we're seeing right there?
I think being less close with people would have been easier to paint me like I see what Danny's doing because everybody liked me at that point. Julian had trust in me. Courtney had trust in me. Everybody had trust in me. And but I'm like, that's good gameplay because I got y'all out. So I think it hurts a lot more when you have a trusted person and like they get you out. You see what I'm saying? Especially in Julian's case. Like, so I'm like, me being the puppeteer the whole entire time, in my mind, I'm like, my game on paper is the strongest. So I don't understand why I can't respect that. And also, I'm not taking into consideration that these people are so ego-driven that they're prioritizing themselves. So when I get to the final, they're like, I feel entitled to be in the place. Clearly, bitch, no, you don't, because I got y'all bitches sniped y'all. Bow, bow, bow in that jury. Like, none of y'all deserve to be here, dummy. Like, come on.
Yeah, I feel like with juries, sometimes it almost feels like you just gotta make them feel good, right? You have to make them feel good about making you win, right? And that's hard.
Like, you can't please everybody. First of all, if the shoes were on the other foot, Rafa and Eric, we'll get into that later, especially with Eric's ass, because I'm gonna dig into that bitch. Literally, I was not in none of y'all endgame plans, and I knew that a long time ago. So you're not gonna be in mine. I know who's in my endgame plan, and I set it up and influenced it that way, and I got to the final 3 the way I did because I literally had to play from the bottom of the merge, and I literally slithered my way to the top and got all y'all bitches out of my way. Like y'all were so ego-driven, y'all couldn't even see that I should have been the merge boo.
I want to talk about this final 4 vote with Mary Ellen, because I know you're like an important part of your story is like that I am the last dreamer standing, right? That's going to be like one of the big pitches in the final. And Mary Ellen's a player you've worked with from the get-go, and I've been with her a lot. And so how do you handle when she comes to you and says, hey, please tie it. Please at least give me a chance and fire.
So I knew that was going to be a tough vote for me. And again, all my tears were real because I loved Melon so much. But I knew I could not be there with Melon in the end, especially if she wins fire. So as I'm speaking to Melon, and I asked her, I said, would you be mad at me if I voted for you? She said, no, Danny, I promise you, I will not be mad at you if you vote for me. I will understand. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm crying because I knew at that point the best game decision in my move, because it's mine, my move is to let Melon go at this point, because had she beat Sam and Fire, she would have won. And at that point, I'm like, she's getting all the credit that I'm supposed to be getting. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck, if she gets credit, cool. I love Melon down, but I was the strategic powerhouse between us two. And it's clear in the game too. It's clear in the fucking confessionals and the viewership. I was on it. And I'm like, there's a world where either she or Sam won, right? And I was like, if she wins, I'm getting my ass whooped. If Sam wins, yeah, okay, I most likely had a confirmed locked jury vote, but still, I feel like I would have had that locked jury vote regardless, because she would understand game purposes. Like, she was going to whoop our asses, which I talked about in the final, but we'll get to that when we get there. But I did not want to take the risk of having me get my ass whooped the way I would have got my ass whooped if I would have to Mel.
Yeah, because her jury question to you is why, right? That's kind of what she just kind of like, why did you do this? Like, help explain it to me. And I think I remember when I watched it, it was like your explanation and what she was hearing, it was like missing each other.
It was missing each other, right? That's what I said. It was missing each other. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I don't think she's listening to what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? We'll get there when we get there. But like with Melon, and it's funny too, because like I have so much love for Melon, and we chatted. I haven't responded to her yet to one of her messages because I'm still so mad at the way Final Tribal Council went because I was ready to whoop ass at Final Tribal Council. I was ready to beat the fuck out of bitches at Final Tribal Council. But we'll get into there when we get into there, because at the end of the day, on paper, if I did not influence the fuck out of Aaron and Sam to get them to where they to sway to my side, they would have been goats for Rafa and Eric 100%. Like, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking, like, so I guess going into Final Tribal Council, are you thinking that it's even playing field, or are you thinking that one of the two is going to be a bigger threat to you in the end versus the other? Just like, nah, this is a runaway.
In my mind, I was like, this is a runaway. In my mind, I'm like, on paper, it's clear as fuck that I have the strongest game on paper. Even to the point where production or the pre-jurors is like, Danny's game on paper is like, what the fuck? You see what I'm saying? Like, that resume is nasty. So in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm about to wipe, because I know I can speak clearly, and I know I got this. I have faith in myself.
So you make it to Final Tribal Council. I'm just gonna let you go. Unless we can walk through the jurors one by one. If you just want to start, we can go from there. That works too. How do you want?
We can go one by one from each juror, but I do want to talk about when they walked in.
Yeah,
when I see them walk in, I see that the Bulls are wearing yellow, and I rolled my eyes so fucking hard because I was like, you've got to be fucking shitting me. Like, oh, they're mad as fuck. And I literally was telling that to Aaron and Sam. I was like, they're all fucking wearing it. Like, it's fucking bitter as hell. So I was like, all right, Danny, just prepare yourself to smile through this and like capitalize off of your charm at this point.
So you each give your opening speeches, right? And you note that, like, hey, I was at the bottom. I made bonds. I influenced people. It took me, and like how much it took for you to get out here, and you position yourself as the last dreamer standing. That's kind of your opening spiel. And then Joe comes out first and asks, like, how did you secure your spot?
And then with Joe, because I didn't watch a lot of the Final Tribal Council, I couldn't really watch a lot of the Final Tribal Council.
No, why would you ever relive that?
Right, because I was like, I see myself being upset, but I did watch me and Joe's response, and I answered Joe clear as day, like clear as fuck when I answered Joe, and I was like, oh, that's an easy vote for me. And fun fact, Joe hit me up. I think I said it prior. Joe hit me up, and she wrote a long message, and I asked her, is it okay if I bring it up here beforehand, just out of respect? And she said, yeah. And she basically, I'm gonna read some of it so you can get a better idea of what was actually said. Okay. So Joe basically had said, because I was very upset with Joe at the vote. I wasn't upset with Joe in the question, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So she was like, I know you're still feeling frustrated and struggling with a lot of the end game. She's seen the final three times, whatever. And like, she said there were so many unanswered questions and lack of time to decompress, right?
Mhm.
And she was like, I'm sorry you didn't get my vote at the end, and we all take part in this process. And she was just being just a good friend to me in this moment. So I waited a couple days to respond to her because I was like, one vote I should have had 100,000% should have been hers. So I was very upset. Afterwards, but in the questioning, I thought I slayed it. I literally thought I answered her, embodied that, especially because I knew from the other two, I can explain my game the best out of all three of us.
Your first hard question is, as I think there's a couple hard questions. The first real hard one is Nay, who's coming up next.
All right, let's get into Nay real quick. This fucking pissed me the fuck off because Nay was like, oh, one of us lowered the standard as black people, da da da. No, Pookie, I hired the fucking standard because me and Aaron are here at the end. Fuck is you talking about? I hired the standard. Then trying to say, I couldn't say you could be yourself. That's not what I said. Stop twisting my words. What I said was, we as black people in general literally have to do more to be even as close as anybody else. Look at me in this game. I had to literally manage the fuck out of my threat level to get to the final three with Aaron. I had to manage myself out of everybody. I had to insulate myself in the best positions to get here. I hired the standard for a fact. Also, I'm not the one who called you explosive. When she said that, I'm looking at her like, what? But I know in that moment, Joe's still on the jury. So if I say what I really want to say and act the way I want to act, Joe's going to be mad at me. And I'm like, yo, I'm not the one who called you explosive. I pointed it out when you asked me to, but I'm not the one who said it. Also, you're fucking voting for Sam and you're coming for Aaron when Sam called you a bully at fucking tribal council. Me and Aaron never name called you. At least vote for Aaron. Like, at least give your vote to Aaron. I'm cool you not voting for me. I'm cool with that. But you and I was kumbaya. And even when she left, I cried for her because I felt bad. I was like, damn, bro, I wish I could explain to her and be my true, authentic self with her. But in this game, I can't. It doesn't allow me to be that with her. You see what I'm saying? And which is why I said, yo, my glasses is fake. I'm from the hood. I'm straight up like this, and that. I'm on that type of shit. See what I'm saying? But I couldn't be that with you here.
Your next jury member is Leah. And it's a question I've seen often, like, close your eyes, raise your hand. Do you think they have their jury vote? And I always feel there's a weird sense of, like, if I raise my hand for every single person, they're going to like, oh, he's greedy or he's full of himself. I don't raise my hand enough. They think, oh, he doesn't have confidence. And you raise your hand for most of the players. And the only two you don't raise your hand for are Nay and Anthony.
Yeah, because I'm ahead of the curve. Like, literally, I was like, everything y'all said y'all wanted on paper when y'all got voted out and what you're looking for, I checked off all those boxes. Leah, you literally said, I want to see, I play a villain, I like a villainous game, explain to me this, and that. On paper, I voted out my number one. On paper, everybody don't like me. I'm the villain. I fucking orchestrated like fucking Geppetto easily to insulate myself here. Your vote should have been locked. And I took the charge to get you out. So...
And this leads to Julian's question. He's kind of asking about that Leah vote.
And I cleared Julian's ass. I cleared it. Like, to the point where I was able, because I'm happy he knew that. And then I was able to explain my game the best way possible. Go watch it. I literally said, removing Leah separated. The first thing I said, because Julian said, oh, I feel like the Blues lost its opportunity with, when I got left or whatever. And I was like, Julian, were you really with the Blues? Because anytime we talked to you, you would run straight to Leah. And I know you and Leah were like this the whole entire time. So removing Leah left you to me. So at that point, it freed you up. And Leah, I'm happy you do know I voted you out because I needed you gone. Because it left me to insulate myself with all the other players. Because Leah was the only player not talking game with me. She's the only person I never had a direct conversation with. So if you're not talking with me, you're talking about me. And if you're not, you still got to go. Because at that point, we never had no casual conversations. I'm on that with anybody. Like I said, I'm a strategist. Clearly, I mastered that. You got to go. And then Julian, when it came to you, it left you in a space of like, where do I go now? What do I do? Right? Who can I lean on? And as I'm thinking when that vote happened with Anthony, I was like, Julian, you can go, because Sam was pitching for Rafa. And there was getting some momentum on Rafa. And I literally chose not to do that. And I said, no, Julian, you got to go. Because thinking about Julian's story, which I explained to him, and I gave him his credit, I said, Julian, you were like baby Jesus here. Like if you made it to the end, you would beat us because you were saved and saved and saved again. I knew at that point I had to get rid of you because it was better for my game. Because look at where I'm at right now. I insulated myself the best. I cleared Julian's question. And also, Aaron and Sam were telling me all the information that I needed to snipe everybody in this game, which made me easy to influence everybody's decision in this game.
So we're near the halfway mark of the jury. How are you feeling at this point after these first 4 questions?
Oh, I'm like, I'm about to body these bitches. I was like, it was clear as day I'm bodying these hoes. I was like, oh, this is light work for me.
Mm-hmm. Then we get to Anthony, who doesn't really have a question but has a statement.
Oh my God. When I tell you, I was like, Anthony don't know me for real. I'm sitting there and I'm just like laughing at him because I'm like, his ego is so big, but Anthony's performative. Because I was like, all of this is performative, and I get you want to be the Regina George bitch. You're not. I'm a king. I'm here sitting on a throne. You're a peasant. You're out. Talking about my 3 immunity wins. Baby, we threw some of those, and you won because you guessed a higher number than Aaron did. And then the other one, Rafa, you and you were neck and neck. You're not a big threat that you think you are. Also, when you got medically evacuated, you were leaving that round anyways on my win. So I don't understand who you thought you were. And this is the problem I have with Anthony, because we could have talked about it. The minute he called us unintelligible was where I had a problem. My face shifted and my mom was like, Danny, I'm about to beat the bricks off of this bitch because now you're disrespecting me. Now you're getting very disrespectful. Now I'm about to disrespect you because, Anthony, you're not that smart. Like, you're book smart, but you're not street smart. I'm from the streets, baby. I was able to read people and see where people were. You weren't, right? Which is why I'm here. Baby, I managed my threat level. You didn't. Like, you talking all this highlight, you talking all this hot shit. You ain't nothing. Also, afterwards, you're not about nothing either, because when I needed to shower, you were like, oh, I have a towel. You were being cool with me. And I was like, you going to give me a towel after you try to violate me? So I took that bitch's towel, took a shower, and wiped my ass with that shit. I was like, yeah, fuck out of here and toss that shit in the corner. Because now, at this point, I'm on that. But I still had to check myself because I was like, Danny, you can still probably get his vote, but Danny, just sit here and just smile and just be like, okay, but after this, I'm on that with you.
Courtney's question is a little bit similar about, like, I guess a little bit Marilyn in that she's asking, like, why'd you vote Mary Ellen? Did it help or hurt you? And I think from our conversation, just like, I lose if I sit next to Mary Ellen. It helped me.
I said to Courtney, well, her specific question, especially in the jury's eyes, I knew that they were going to feel some type of way, me voting out Melon. So I said, to appease Courtney's emotions, I was like, look, I think that hurt me at the end of the day, especially with y'all, because me and Melon were close. But I hope you do respect the fact that if Melon sat here with me, she would have whooped my ass, especially boosting her resume. If she won in fire, her resume was already stacked. And now at this point, there's no edge for me to work with. And Courtney was not had an understanding exactly where I was coming from, because I was appeasing to Courtney's emotions. And I said I had to separate my emotions in the game at that point and did what was best for my game to get here. Because otherwise, I would have got my ass whooped anyways if she was sitting next to me.
Rafa then asked about were you loyal to anyone in the game? Or kind of saying you had no loyalty to anyone in the game.
So with Rafa's question, I was like, no, he was like perception, right? He was like something about people thinking that emotional manipulation.
Is our perspective correct?
Yeah. And I was like, well, I was dead ass crying for people because I'm an emotional gangster. I said that from jump. I'm an emotional gangster, straight up. Like, if I cry for you, I'm dead ass crying for you because I feel bad, bro. Like, had the shoe been on the other foot, I would have been crying for myself. Like, it was hard to watch people that I genuinely was vibing with leave. Like, even though the game me was like, this is great because I'm working, but like, the human me was like, damn, this hurts. You see what I'm saying? So I wasn't really trying to emotionally manipulate anybody with the crying. I was just, next game I play, I'm not crying for not one bitch. And with that being said, even with Rafa's question, I still made sure to point out how I got him out. I still made sure to point out how using him and Eric's way to flush Aaron's idol and this and that, so he knew that it was my move that got him out that door. Like, because he knew we were both fighting for Aaron. Because me and Rafa were both in two similar positions in the merge. And we were in two similar positions in the tribe. And one thing about Rafa, I respect Rafa because Rafa is genuinely a respectful person. He didn't be disrespectful. He wasn't disrespectful with the way he was approaching. And Rafa, I give you your credit from one king to another. I fuck with you and I vibe with you. And Rafa, you know what it is. I mess with you. I bangs with you, game.
Eric goes next. In his first part of the question is, can you rank your top 4 relationships? And you rank, I think, Mary Ellen, Sam, and Courtney. And for some reason, I didn't write down your number 4.
I put Joe. I said Joe.
Okay, Joe. And Eric does also mention he advocates the jury not to vote for you.
Oh, for sure. Because he's bitter because I got him out. Like, bitter bitch. Nets. Old bitch. Nets. Fuck you. Like, I don't care. I'm on that. Because my thing is, you literally say, oh, we shouldn't waste a vote on Danny. Eric, you wanted me to say your name when you were ready to vote me out with the rest of your yellows? I wasn't in your end game plan, buddy. So why would you ever be in mine? I'm like, that was just such a bitter way to fucking say that. And then everybody in the juries, I'm like, I hope y'all not about to bandwagon and listen to this man. Because that right there, if I was in the jury, I would have been like, oh, now I'm voting for Danny 100%. Because at this point, that was just nasty. But as I'm watching him boost the egos of Aaron and motherfucking Sam, I'm like, I'm losing at this point. I was killing it, and now I'm losing because of Eric's dumb bitch ass. I was like, that was bitter as hell. I was like, as a juror, you were just mad fucking petty. And mind you, when you hugged me on your way out, you were like, oh, win this thing. I was like, all right, I got you. I'm thinking you're going to respect the fact that I sat you there in that jury.
Finally, Mary Ellen comes. And again, she asks, like, are the 2 people with you the people you wanted to be there with you? Why or why not? And for you, it's kind of like there's this conversation about, like, why not give her the shot at fire? I mean, again, I kind of mentioned to this. It's kind of like felt like there was what you were saying was she was not picking up at the time.
Do you see what I'm saying? What I was saying, she wasn't understanding. Yeah. And I'm waiting for Parker to be like, all right, that's enough. And I'm like, is nobody going to help me here? So, and then even when I explained it, she still wasn't getting it. And I was like, Melon, you're not getting through what I'm saying. In an ideal world, you would be sitting here with me. But sitting with them is the best way to my path to win. She's not getting what I'm saying. Like, you're switching your question now to say, so why didn't you send me to fire? I just fucking explained what just happened.
If you knew that she would lose fire, you would send her there in a heartbeat.
Right? Yeah. Oh, she was losing fire to Sam 100%. If I knew 100% Sam was cooking this fire like nobody's business, I would have sent her to the fire. Like,
I mean, it's a question like, how, like, should you have gambled on her winning or losing fire? Like, like a 50% chance she wins and you lose, or she loses and you net maybe 1 or 2 jury votes. It's like, man, it's like that's a hard trade-off to have to make right there.
Who gambles in Survivor? Like that.
That's Underwood, but that's it.
like who does that? I'm like, Mikey, I'm not a Survivor person. And I'm like, what the hell? And even more so in this game, for me not to be a Survivor person, y'all be Survivor fanatics. And I know that. I'm thinking y'all respect the game. I'm like, I'm gaming mad hard. I'm whooping ass. I'm rocking. Like, what? And I'm explaining it. And y'all just bitter because y'all think y'all were better. But babes, I was better. We were better. We're the final 3, boo. You're not. Sorry, babes. It's not happening. And also, out of all the final 3, I'm the only person, all of Mers, that did not get 1 vote.
Pretty impressive.
Now what? Facts.
So you give your concluding statement. How are you feeling after Final Tribal Council ends?
I was like, Sam just won because Eric is literally leading the pack and they're all fucking followers, and none of y'all are gonna just think for yourselves in that moment and just fucking vote for who you really want to vote for. So I was like, Sam fucking won this. I know Sam is winning. So after I explained the best I could, but at this point, I wanted to fight. My mind was like, Danny, I want to fight Eric. I want to fight Anthony. Those are my only things on my mind right now. I'm at rage, right? I'm sitting here getting disrespected by Anthony and motherfucking Eric. I'm like, now I'm on that with both of y'all. In my mind, I'm ready to be myself because now I'm on that with y'all. Y'all were disrespectful as fuck. You see what I'm saying? Now you got to see me is what I'm thinking to myself. And then after Sam goes, and I'm seeing the way Sam, because Eric gave Sam morale and gave her boost to have that confidence because he just basically shot me all the way down. And they're all gonna follow la and listen to fucking Eric's drum. So at that point, I literally looked over at Sam. I said, Sam, you won. I was like, Sam, you got that. And she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry that you picked me over Melon." I said, "No, you're good. I'm happy it was you out of me." And at the end of the day, we both came to Survivor New York. We remember one day, and we both got to the end together, like I said we would. So, boom, we did that shit.
How was the reveal and after party for you at this point?
I was going to kill every bitch in the room. It was like, oh my God. So after we left, I'm crying out of anger, right? Because I'm so mad. I get in the shower, I come out, and I'm now freely able to speak and be myself. And Rafa was like, "Oh, who this?" I was like, "Yeah, the real one. The realest is in the building." And me and Rafa shooting the shit. And I was like, I really like Rafa. Like me and Rafa were genuinely like having a good bond with each other. And Eric was with us too, and Eric was just quiet. Because in my mind, I'm like, I'm ready to whoop Eric's ass. I'm ready to go off on Eric. So we get in the car. It's me, Rafa, and Eric, and we start talking on the way to the car. I was like, "Eric, you fucking threw that challenge or whatever." And then Rafa's like, "I didn't throw that challenge." And Eric was like, "Yeah, I threw that challenge." So we in the car talking. Eric's just being quiet the whole entire time. While me and Rafa was talking. Rafa's talking about his games and stuff, and we're vibing. Like, I'm like, "Yo, we're see." And in a world outside of a game like this, we vibe. You see what I'm saying? And with Eric, I think Eric was just like, "Damn, I'm just quiet." You see what I'm saying? So we get to the party. I don't want to speak to not one person. Nobody's speaking to me except for pre-jurors, right? And I'm hugging production. I'm hugging the pre-jurors, and I go Garrett, Logan, and I'm crying to them. I'm like, "I'm sorry, I couldn't get the win for you. I'm sorry." They're like, "You don't know that, buddy. You were killing it out there in the beginning. You don't know that. I'm telling you, you don't know that." And then production, Trinica and Juan and Tony were like, "You don't know that." I was like, "My intuition is so good. Why do you think I got to the final 3? I'm telling you, I did not win." And they're like, "No, Danny, you have to have more confidence in yourself." The votes were red, and I knew Sam was going to win. And that one vote for Aaron that Julian did, I was like, all right, I still got questions about that too. But I was like, whatever. I knew Sam was winning. So when Sam wins, I'm genuinely happy for Sam. I was like, again, if it wasn't me, it was you, and I'm happy. Like, it makes me happy that you won. But I also have the right to feel mad with myself. So I walk out, I get my phone, I make sure I congratulate Sam and make sure Sam gets her flowers. And then I walk out, Trinica gives me my phone, Trinica walks with me. Then Tony's not too far behind. And then Pete and everybody's right behind me. And Melanie's there. And Trinica was like, "I thought you were going to win." She goes, "I don't know what the fuck the jury was fucking thinking, what the fuck they were seeing, but it was just like ridiculous." Even Tony was like, "Yeah, that was like ridiculous." It almost felt embarrassing as fuck. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I'm mad because at this point now I want to fight. Right, I'm mad at Joe. I'm not gonna fight Joe. I love Joe, but I'm mad at Joe because I'm like, what the fuck was that, bro? I'm mad at Court. I'm mad at so many people. Right. Only person I wasn't really mad at that moment was Melon. Everybody else I was at rage with. And then Pete was like, "Honestly, I thought you were gonna win. I had my money on you." And people were like, "Yeah, we had our money on you. Like, we thought you were winning." Like, it was like, what the fuck, bro? Like, they put no respect on my game, and that's the problem. They put respect on my name and my game. Because I was working the crap out of that. Like, what? Like, overtime. I had to face the most adversity too. So now what? In the merge, I had the most adversity. Pre-merge, I was top of the top. Merge, the most adversity, and I slayed it. So, no, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's not. I guess the question is like, what could have you done differently? Like, is there anything looking back? You're just like, man, had I maybe like I needed to be flashy or do something put a threat level and like win those challenges. But again, like then you don't know if you even make it to the end if you do all that.
Exactly my point. The best part about me is the fact that I masterminded majority of this whole entire thing, and y'all didn't respect it because you thought you were better than me because y'all thought y'all were smarter. But it was clear as day I sniped all of you bitches. Like that right there, I got the best of you every time. And you don't vote for me in my game when I got the best of y'all? That is absurd to me. I was able to properly set myself, insulate myself in the game. I was able to literally lower my threat level, manage myself, win when I needed to, through challenges when I needed to put targets on other people, and still you don't respect my game? Now I got a problem. Now I'm on that.
How has it's been a couple of weeks since the game ended. It sounds like there's kind of slowly talking with the people in the jury in the game and kind of talking and processing about what happens, right?
I don't speak to none of them bitches. I don't like half of these people.
Rafa, the exception for Rafa and Aaron.
Rafa, Aaron, Sam, all the pre-jurors
Mm-hmm.
and Joe and Melon
Okay.
to a certain extent. I actually got to hit Melon back up because I do
Mm-hmm.
love Melon. And
Mm-hmm.
I think they all realized at that moment, like, oh shit, like, oh fuck. Because even production was like, they would have voted for Danny, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, bro. All the pre-jurors was like, we all would have voted for Danny. They all ran up to me and was like, you won, you're the winner in our eyes. It's okay. Like, we all would have voted for you. Like, they can't believe how bitter they were. They were so fucking bitter and angry. And granted, I guess they didn't have the time to process their bitterness. So
Mm-hmm.
it made it worse in my case, especially with the last two, because
Mm-hmm.
on paper, I won that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
come on, bro. That's nasty work.
Mm-hmm.
And then for y'all to devalue my intelligence and my skill set because your ego is so big you can't look outside yourselves is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like even in some of your confessions, Eric was like, so Will, who I'm super close with, I was actually with Will yesterday. He's in New York. Me and Will are really cool.
Nice.
And yeah, and Will was like, oh, he was like, oh, Danny didn't make no big moves. I did make big moves. You're just mad because you're in the jury. Like, that's what it was. Like, we didn't kumbaya. Bitch, I wasn't in your endgame plan. Like, their egos are so big, it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
It's nasty.
Yeah, it's a hard way to have the experience, and it's like, wow, I did everything I need to do, and this is what I get.
Yeah, like, well, let me ask you, right? From your perspective of my game, what would you have said watching me just as a viewership? Like, that's what I want to know. Because, like, I'm like, yo, bro, this is wild.
I think there's some of the things. So I'm kind of looking back at what you said in the response to the jury, and what you've said in this conversation. I'm trying to think about, like, you know, what's coming out now in the 2 hours versus what came out then in that conversation. And I think had you talked about, like, because you talk about voting on Leah, right? That's a thing you raised, that you took the charge on the Leah vote, and you do that to bring him in. I think maybe having brought that in at the start of the conversation, saying, hey, like in that initial jury pitch, like, let me lay out a key, like some clear things I have done this game that you maybe didn't see, right? And so when players say, like, oh, we don't know what you did, we don't see any big moves, like, no, I laid out from the start. Like, and yes, it's not like I don't have an idol, I'm not doing like a crazy save of someone, but like I had clearly had agency, and let me illustrate it to you right now. Maybe that could have helped. I mean, again, if the jury is dead set against you, you're just kind of doomed to begin with.
Yeah,
right?
I was doomed from the start with the jury anyways.
Yeah.
I was doomed from the start because even pointing out with the me getting Rafa and Eric's ass out, even when Rafa asked Sam, so I was under the impression, Sam, you were the one who made that move, but am I wrong? Like, who influenced you? Sam could even answer the question. And I was like, Sam, say me. But I know in the final trial, you can't really save the people next to you. So, like, I get where Sam's coming from, but I was like, we all know what's up. We all know what's up. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, even when I point that to you, to about you and Eric, and use that info against y'all, those are big ass moves. I'm like,
I mean, I think a tragedy of the season was Anthony being medevaced, because had you been able, because you said, like, he was next and I was going to get him down, right? And, like, I think had you been able to vote him out like that, I think that would have helped you say, look, I won immunity, I took control, I took Anthony out. All right, and point that. Yeah, it's sure, like, maybe that's everyone was going to consensus do Anthony as well, because say, hey, you know, I drove it, I had been driving it, I had made it happen since the final 9, and nailed it final 8, and you just didn't have that opportunity
because I was driving that vote.
Yeah,
like, come on, bro. Like, this is why I'm like, there's no win-win. But one thing for certain, two things for sure, you will respect my game, because my game was fucking, like, even some people that, like, I've spoken to that are on production, and the higher ups were like, at a certain point after you lost Nate and Joe, you locked the fuck in and you had a winning game. Like, it's just unfortunate the odds were stacked against me, like the fucking Hunger Games. But again, I was in that final 3 seat. You weren't. I made history. You didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone to the end of the game and lost in a very bad way, and it was just like, oh my gosh, what is going? It was just like after there's the whole after party. I'm just saying, there's like, I'm leaving. I don't want to be here.
Let me tell you, if I could have left that after party, I would. Do you want to hear why? Oh my god! So in the after party, Lord, Parker had to drive me because I was going to start swinging and wilding out on people, and I get there, I walk straight to the porch in the back and sit outside in the open field, and I'm just sitting like this, right? Because now I'm like, Danny, I'm stuck here until I get driven to the airport. I'm on go. So
I wish I had a car.
I am on go at this point. All the pre-Drews are sitting with me, trying to make me feel better, laughing, key and shit. Nay and Leah's coming over, try to vibe in the music. I'm not shaking ass with y'all. I don't want to party with y'all. I don't want to talk to y'all. I'm on that with y'all. So if y'all say one wrong thing to me, I'm storming. So I'm like, I went back to game mode. I went back to game mode. And Sam came in and checked on me. Aaron even came in and checked on me at a certain point. And then, I was just mad. Everybody knew to stay away from me. Anthony was hiding in the fucking corner of the fucking building with the rest of the people, because a lot of people also don't like fucking Anthony either. So Anthony's over there hiding in the corner somewhere. And I'm just right out on the porch with the pre-jurors and all the people coming over. I'm so fucking at rage with this point. Like, I don't care. Even to the point where, Will, I think you're going to be okay if I say this. Me and Will's sitting on me, and me and Will start kissing or whatever, right? And I look over, Joe sitting next to me, and I'm like, you good? Because I was so mad at Joe. But Joe knew I was angry, and I didn't want to speak to none of them. And she goes, I'm just happy you're happy. And I was like, all right, whatever. And I just like rolled my eyes because I was like at rage with Joe. You see what I'm saying? Because I defended you against Nay, and you did not have my back at all. None of y'all had my back in that jury. Like, what type of friend is that? You see what I'm saying? And mind you, me and Joe have had conversations about it, and I love Joe today. Me and Joe are in a great place, and Joe is such a lovely, amazing person. So I will give Joe that. Joe is one of the greatest peoples, and I love her so much. But I was on go mode.
So, looking back at this experience, what has been your takeaways from it?
That I'm a king, that I knew I was always a king. King stays king. Like, I was better than all the bitter ass bitches around me. Don't be bitter, be better, babes. Like, I was better than you. Own that. And I can say that because I'm there. So no matter what y'all say coming up on here, I will always be in that final three, and you weren't. And what? And I also realized the power of my game. I am somebody. If you see me, and I said it on the very first day, I am going to be these bitches' worst nightmare. They need to get me out first. And they should have got me out first. And that's where they failed. And it's just unfortunate that y'all egos were eating y'all up so bad that y'all had to see me in the seat, because I was always going to be there. It was mine.
Is there anything else you want to touch on we haven't had a chance to dig into at this point?
No, I'm good. Because like I said, like I'm good with these people. A lot of these people are performative. A lot of these people, like, egos are driven, and they're disrespectful as fuck. Now it's my turn to be disrespectful, because none of y'all hit me up outside of the people, the pre-jurors, Rafa and Melon and Joe from the jury, at least. Like, I'm good off of y'all. Like, I even left the group chat in the first place when they added me. Sam added me back because I just wanted to get the links and stuff. But I'm not really in that group chat. If they talking shit now, fuck y'all. I'm good off of y'all. Bitch, and what? And what? Say to my face. I don't give a fuck about none of y'all. Like, I'm good, bro. I'm chilling off of y'all. And I do want to give shout outs to a lot of the pre-jurors, because they would have voted for me. I wish they were in the jury. Like, Jonna is somebody who's a beautiful spirit. Will is such a great guy who's very misunderstood. Vito is such a beautiful light, the light of the season, and he deserves so much. Vito is such an amazing person. Who am I missing? Jude Ranchi is batshit crazy. She's funny. I think I had a good time with her. Garrett is a motherfucking legend king, and he deserves another shot too. Garrett is such a great person, and he lets you feel what you feel. And even though I thought Garrett was ruining my game, telling my info, it didn't wind up working against me anyways. It actually worked in my favor. And who am I missing from there? I think those are all the people. Oh, Shannon, I love. Shannon, it's funny. Me and Shannon's like mom or something like that. We're going back and forth. I was like, Shannon, get her, because I'm going to get her. I'm going to get out of my face. And Shannon was like, just block her. Like, Shannon knew it was a game. And everything I said about Shannon was never personal. It was game related. Like, and that's the problem. Anthony over here is shutting bitches down, and I'm talking about game related shit, and I'm getting attacked. Like, come on, bro. That's wild to me. Like, meanwhile, well, to be fair, people don't like Anthony either, which is fine. And the thing is, Anthony thinks he's the villain of the season because that's what you want to perform it as, versus the game villain is me, baby. So, like, I'm who you think you really are. Like, what, boy? Stop playing. Come on now. Oh, and I do want to say this. Shout out to Aaron. I love Aaron so much. I fucking love Aaron 1,000 times. Shout out to Sam. That's my queen right there. I fucking love Sam so fucking much. Sam deserved her fucking win. I don't care if bitches say, "Oh, I love you, Aaron." Sam is a motherfucking queen, and I'm happy Sam won because Sam winning is the biggest fuck you to them bitches. Because at the end of the day, y'all try to get Sam out again and again, and she's the best representation of this season, especially with the Eclipse. Sam had to go through so much adversity, and I'm happy that she got the W because at the end of the day, Sam earned that shit. So Sam, you fucking deserve to win. I hope you know you fucking deserve to win. You're a queen. You're my queen, and I love you, Sam. And Aaron, you are also my rock too. We did that shit. And Danny, I'm proud of my motherfucking self too, bitch. I beasted through these bitches.
I mean, you made eight days of something that's probably very much out of your comfort zone, navigated the game, got to the end, won challenges. The only thing you missed is not having an idol, but that's because Eric and Aaron just monopolized them all.
But I knew where everything was though, and I knew if I needed it, Aaron would have played it on me. I knew where everything was, so it didn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. It just made my game strongly better because everybody was giving me information, and I capitalized off of it, which was the worst thing y'all should have did. Y'all should have got rid of me when y'all needed to, and y'all did it because y'all couldn't. You see what I'm saying? Like, and it's all good. And I also want to say this too about Mary Ellen. I love Melon down as a person 100%, and I really do love her, and it broke my heart because we won best duo because we were the best duo of the fucking season. We were hands down. We were nasty, and it's just unfortunate. Like, I'm now upset, and she's right to be upset. She has a right to be upset. You see what I'm saying? She has 100% right to be upset, and I also have a right to be upset too. We both have right to be upset. But I hope that our friendship can blossom after this because I really do love her. Same thing with Joe. I love Joe so much. And same thing with Rafa. Rafa was the most respectful person out of all the jury members. I have nothing but good things to say about Rafa. And again, if me and Rafa started, because we started off on the wrong foot, not liking each other, because we didn't know each other. You know what I mean? And then when we got to know each other, I was like, yo, I really bangs with this person. And to be honest, me and Rafa were both in two positions where we both saw each other. And I just happened to get the better of him at the end. You know what I mean? Like, and I have nothing but kind words to say about a couple of those people. And I want to say this too, even with Nay, in a different world, me and Nay would have been really good friends. You see what I'm saying? In a different world. And I said this 1,000 times. As a viewer, Nay Nation, I get it. She's this, and that. I get it. She's entertaining, and she's funny as fuck. I'm not a hater. I'm going to give her credit. She's funny as fuck. We all funny as fuck. But as a player, you do not want to be in those situations where somebody's pointing at you and cursing at you. You put yourself in my shoes and say shit is sweet. Because it's not. You see what I'm saying? And also, you voted for fucking Sam when she called you a bully, and I didn't even name call you, bro, at all. I was just literally just pointing things out to better help you, bro. Like, and to be honest, if I was in a close proximity with Nay, like she was with Joe, we would have been in a good place. I gave you my sweatpants. You told me about Julian. He's working with them. And like, we were getting good. And I just feel like we all that time away made us have that tension with each other. You see what I'm saying? And then also at the final party, she gonna go tell me, "Oh, my friend want to fight you." I said, "Bring that here. I'm on that. Now what? Now I could be myself, so I'm on that. What's up? You know what I mean? Like don't threaten me, boo. Like, cause now I'm on that. You know."
I have some final wrap-up questions for you. Quick fire. If you can go back in time and tell yourself anything or give yourself any advice for the game to begin, what would you tell yourself?
Fuck all these stupid ass bitches and don't cry. Do not cry, Danny. Save your tears. The only tears that were justifiable, in my opinion, especially I'm crying over all these other bitter ass people, is save my tears for Vito. Save your tears for Joe. And don't save your tears for Melon, even though I cried for Melon because I love Melon so much. And that was the hardest game decision for me in the end. But it was the correct one to do.
Would you prefer your Survivor games with or without redemption?
So I saw you ask Aaron this question.
Yeah, you're getting the same list.
And I'm not really a Survivor person, but clearly I'm a monster at it. And I would say redemption, I don't mind. It doesn't do or break for me. You see what I'm saying? I think especially in a situation like this, people are getting more opportunity to play because, it gives them more time to enjoy aspects of games that they're coming into. So, like, I get it. I'm happy for people who go to redemption, but it doesn't change for me. See what I'm saying? Like if I get voted out, I got voted out, I got fucked. See what I'm saying? And if there's a redemption, that's great. I get back into the game and definitely start working better. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter to me really.
CBS Survivor and Netflix Squid Game both come and want you to play in their next season, but at the same time, you can only be on one. Which one do you choose?
Because I'm so fucking petty, I will go on Survivor and win Survivor just to be like, fuck all of you bitches. That's how petty I am. A petty ass person. I will take it to hell. You know how people say they go down? I will go all the way to where the lava's at. Okay, I will purposely go on Survivor and whoop ass like I did on Reelfoot.
What was your favorite challenge?
Oh, okay. So my favorite challenge, funny enough, was the tug of war with Will. Did you watch that one?
I don't think I caught that moment. No.
So if you go watch it, me and Will went first, and the flags were so far from us. We to the point where me and Will were wrestling for like 6 fucking minutes, and that they had to bring the flags closer, way closer for the tug of war. But it just showed how much heart that I had and how much heart Will had, because Will is a fighter, and obviously I'm friends with Will. I'm gonna chill with him again today, and Will is such a fighter, and I feel like had he been on the Dreamers, he would have done better on the Dreamers tribe than the Doers tribe, you know. And he gave his all in that challenge, and it was a great fight. I did beat him, but he put in a lot of work to definitely try to win for his tribe. He was fighting, and that's what I love. I love to see the fight. So that was my favorite challenge. And I also do want to say this: when Will comes on, if you ever interview Will, speak to Will. Will will confirm that he was definitely cheating and he was trying to trip me and grab my legs and play dirty. Will confirm it.
It's only cheating if it's caught.
And that's why I said something. He even said to me yesterday, he was like, I heard my tribe mate say, trap him. And I even heard fucking Jude Ranchi go, break his leg. I said, break his leg. And then that's when I got up and locked in and was like, yeah, he got to go.
What was your favorite moment at camp?
My favorite moment at camp, this is going to be shocking to say because all hell broke loose and I started to be angry at them, but was literally talking to the new swap tribe. That was good because we didn't get to know each other at all, and just talking as people was good. Even with Eric, even though I'm mad as fuck at Eric because Eric fucking disrespected me. Learning about Eric's life and hearing about his trans daughter and just hearing about his life and opening up about my tragedies in my life with me losing my grandma to stage 4 cancer, and then 2.5 months later I lost my mom to homicide, was all real. It was just beautiful to organically tell our stories. And then even recently, nobody knows this, like I just lost my great grandma literally the other day, and I've been like going through it, and people who are close to me know, like Vito knows, Aaron knows, Sam knows, because I let them know, all my close people know, and they've all reached out to me and gave me love because like I've been going through the ringer. And at the end of Reelfoot, it was me and Logan's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Imagine how I felt.
Hey, it's better than the trend of people getting voted out on their birthdays. That's generally what I see happen in Survivor games. It's your birthday and you're out.
Oh my God. That happened to Debbie from my Squid Game season. She was on Reelfoot 2 seasons ago. She got voted out on her birthday, apparently. Because I was like, oh, that's nasty word. And I can say this, out of all the Squid Game players that played Reelfoot, I was the first out on Squid Game, but I was the last and last the longest. They got lucky I didn't go on X.
Let's say you found the key to the lockbox. Would you have shown people it or kept it secret?
I would have shown people it, I think, because we were all going through it. And being open and honest is what brings people in. So I think being open about it was inviting to people. Excuse me. And I would have been like, okay, cool. Yeah, look, I found the key to the lockbox. Like, all right, cool. Like, let's get in this bitch. Like, we all got to figure out. And we found the cryptex. I would have been like, okay, what do we want to do this? Do we want to do this together? Like, come on, I'm down for the vibe. Like, we all vibe together. See what I'm saying? Like, I'm open for whatever,
Who do you wish you had an opportunity to work with but didn't have a chance to in the game?
I really wanted to work. There's a couple of people, actually. Obviously, a lot of the pre-jurors. Garrett was one, because I think if Garrett had stayed in that scenario, I would have had more room to work with, because I could have picked either side of the alliances. Ben in the middle, Ben a great factor, and let them shoot at each other like I did in the merge. But Garrett, I would love to have worked with Garrett further because Garrett is such a sweet person. I would love to have worked with Will because I think Will's very misunderstood. I kept calling Will my little boyfriend, my heated rivalry. And yeah, we're literally Reelfoot's heated rivalry at this point. And Jonna, she's such a sweet, endearing heart. I think she didn't get to shine as much. I didn't get to see more of her, and I would love to have worked with her and see more of her because she seems loyal and trustworthy.
Yeah.
And in a perfect world, I would have loved to work with Shannon if we could have got on the same page together. You know what I mean? Like if the tribe had more push for love for Shannon, like because I really do love Shannon 100%. Shannon is such a beautiful person. Like honestly, one of the dopest people. Her life is so interesting. Her story is so interesting, and she is an amazing woman. So I would love to work with a lot of those people in the game.
Who surprised you the most?
This is gonna sound like a cop-out answer. I'll give myself I'm gonna say me because the first game I played was Survivor New York, and I got voted out because one of my tribe mates flipped, and the other person had an advantage, which was like an extra vote type situation where they brought another person to vote with them or whatever. And we had the numbers if my tribe member didn't flip, but we kept going to tribal because somebody in the game on the swap tribe, they was on production before I knew the puzzle. So it really was like low-key rigged against us is how I feel.
Yeah.
And so I surprised myself because given a fair chance, I whoop ass. It's evident. See what I'm saying? Now I'm in the end. So I'm very proud of myself. I surprised myself. And somebody who also surprised me in this game, and I'm gonna be very transparent, was Aaron. And I love my friend Aaron down. The reason why Aaron surprised me so much is because like Aaron was so quiet at first, but anytime me and Aaron got to shoot the shit, we got to authentically be ourselves. And Aaron was one of the few people that I got to naturally fully be myself with. You know what I mean? And that shocked me because, and also for game purposes, Aaron gave me all the info too. But Aaron shocked me the most. I love Aaron so much.
Besides yourself, who would you like to see from your season come back and play another season of Reelfoot?
Me and only me. Let me stop. No, I'm just kidding. Well, obviously me first. Always put yourself first, y'all. In any circumstance, you come first. And I would love to see Vito. I get emotional with Vito. Vito has such a kind heart, and Vito deserves it. A lot of the Dreamers, actually. I would love to see Logan come back. I feel like Logan, with what happened with his idol, maybe he can redeem himself in a better way and become a little more strategic, a little more savage. I would love to see that side of Logan, like a gamer, more of a gamer side of Logan. So I'd love to see Logan come back. I would love to see Garrett come back and whoop ass. I think Garrett would be a great addition to the game. A lot of the pre-jurors, I think, deserve their shine. I think the pre-jurors deserve their shine. I think all the pre-jurors should all have a chance at redemption because they deserve it. Because we got to showcase our skill set. They really didn't get a fair chance. And since Joe and Aaron were first boots and got to come back on a future season, they deserve the same opportunities too.
We'll see what happens next year, season 15.
Season 15, the king, the last dreamer is coming back for the crown that was so solely snatched off my head.
Well, Danny, I think that's all I got. Anything else you have to close with?
You can find me on Instagram at DX Annie Ortega. I am the last dreamer. I am the king of kings, and I've proven that. And I just want to say to anybody coming in and wanting to play future games, you come first. Always study the people around you and know what's best for their games before yours. So that way you're able to move throughout the game. And if you're ever in a merge situation, use your jury vote as currency, but don't use it in a way where it's threatening to people.
Yeah.
So that way you can insulate yourself in any situation possible. For all the strategists out there, I got you. You see me, who see you, and y'all know what's up.
Well, Danny, thank you so much for spending the past 2.5 hours with me. I really enjoyed hearing about your game and your story and just the challenges, especially towards the end, that you had to deal with. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This has been another episode of Live Rally Game Podcast. More to come tomorrow. Sam, So
Yes!
herself. I believe that'll be at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Live Reality Games. So stay tuned. More content to come. Thank you so much, Danny, and everyone tuning in. Have a good rest of your day.